all over this one, including potentially a conference title on the line.
Both of these teams are going to the national tournament. Western Michigan wants to play the first round at Lawson Arena, which might be one of the great rinks in the history of college hockey, and they play really well there. North Dakota chasing a Penrose championship. Like I said, both of these teams are going to be in a regional somewhere, and they are just kind of going through their process right now of making sure they're ready for the Frozen Face-Off and potentially the Frozen Four.
Both of these teams enter this weekend on a high note as Nick Ports tries to drive in. The freshman headed off well that time by Jacob Bauer. UND winners of 4 in a row have overtaken Denver for pole position in the NCHC Penrose Cup race. They have a 1-point advantage on the Pioneers. If all goes accordingly, they could lift a Penrose Cup by the end of this weekend. Western Michigan, of course, will have something to say about that. Here's Josh Passelt, the fifth-year senior, one of a number of experienced Broncos on this roster, shooting high over Zach Driscoll, who makes his 7th consecutive start.
Broncos brought a lot of players back and a lot of experienced ones. And what's interesting for their roster, as I was talking with their coaching staff over the last couple of days, they've got a lot of really good players that have come back. But those players haven't made that same kind of run, let's say, that Minnesota Duluth has made with their veteran guys. So while they brought back a lot of experience and they brought back a lot of players, including Brandon Buxer, their goaltender, who was a key component and was hurt a lot last year, they still, I think, are in uncharted territory when they get towards the playoffs and they get towards some of those big games, because they haven't made that step into the Frozen Face-Off with this group.
Shot from the point, gloved and held by Driscoll. Brandon Bussey so big in this team's success down the stretch last season. You mentioned they brought back so many guys. As you see, Zach Driscoll, he's a fifth-year guy who's in his first year with this North Dakota program after being a 2-time All-WCHA pick with Bemidji State.
He came in and he brought a lot of what he carried with him from Bemidji State. Remember Bemidji with that big upset last year at Wisconsin in the opening round of the NCAA regionals, and he was great early, had a little bit of a hiccup when he did, and Jacob Helston took the net. He was a mentor to Helston, which probably in the long run really helped him get his game back together. There's an old saying, sometimes you learn more by teaching than you do by being the student, and allowing him to be in the mentor role for a few weeks, I think, rejuvenated his game and helped him get his fundamentals back. He hasn't looked back since he's taken the net back. Driscoll
came in on a Saturday night against St. Cloud State in this building, shut out the Huskies in what eventually was a 3-3 overtime victory for UND as Tyler Clevin sends that one on net. Driscoll's had the goal ever since. He's now the 3-time NCHC goaltender of the week. Whistles here for an offside, gives us a chance to look at the full picture in the NCHC standings. You see UND on top of the leaderboard. Western Michigan needs just 1 point to clinch home ice for the quarterfinals.
And here's the interesting thing. You look at this little group right here between Minnesota Duluth and St. Cloud State. Both of those teams could wind up in the top 10 by the end of the season. You're going to talk about a top 10 team in the polls being on the road in the first round of the playoffs. That almost never happens in any other conference, which is why the NCHC is so unique.
If Omaha, by the way, keeps up their hot play after a sweep of St. Cloud State, both might be on the road. You never know how things are going to play out over the last 2 weekends here. Cole Gallant now trying to center one inside. Luke Bass getting in the way.
You know, it's interesting. Everybody got their wake-up call in the second half. Miami went to St. Cloud State, got their doors blown off, and they have been really good since. Then Omaha went to Miami, got swept. They've been pretty good since. The only team right now that's a little up and down is, you take a look at Pat Ferschweiler, the head coach of the Western Michigan Broncos, and Jason Herder, a longtime assistant coach at Minnesota Duluth and a 3-time national title winner there as an assistant. I like what Fersch said. He was going back to the Denver weekend where they split, and he said, even though we lost the first game, I liked our maturity in that game, and it carried over to night 2. That's what he's talking about when it comes to the repeatability of play and the dependability of his team.
Face-off win here by the Broncos. In the end, nothing comes of it. Ashton Calder able to collect and send one through neutral ice. Mitchell wake-up calls. North Dakota had one against this Broncos team out at Lawson Ice Arena at the end of January. They were swept. Although, again, Brad Berry mentioned he liked how his team played even though they dropped both games. They've been unbeaten since in regulation.
Oh, just getting back to the original point, St. Cloud State's really the only team that's been a little shaky lately. I think they're going to pull it back together again. I just think they hit a dog day thing. They're another one of those veteran teams, and I think they're just jonesing to get towards the end of the season and the postseason and get rolling again. And there is Brad Berry, the head coach for the University of North Dakota. And he talked about the games at Minnesota Duluth last week. He really liked the way that his team played See, we didn't have Reese Gaber on Saturday night. Sometimes you're missing your top scorer, you're missing your top D, Sanderson. There could be a default like, okay, we're good, we got our game out of the weekend. But our guys are really hungry. And even Scott Sandler made the comment that North Dakota looked like the team that lost Friday and was trying to even up the series. That is quite the compliment.
Yeah, Brad Berry saying that was about as high a compliment you can get from an opposition coach. A couple of big one-goal wins out of Amsoil Arena. First sweep for North Dakota against Minnesota Duluth since their national title winning season of 2015-2016. Aiden Fulp now taking over. You mentioned Reese Gaber, by the way. Reese still out tonight. North Dakota's leading scorer, top 10 in the country in points this season. Got banged up on Friday night against the Bulldogs. Finished the game, but did not play Saturday. A whistle here with 15:40 left in the first. Let's look in at the Starman keys to the game tonight.
I think for Western Michigan, they're a team that only wants to play north. No carrybacks, no regroups. They want to overwhelm you. They want to come in with depth in their attack. For North Dakota, to counter that, it's deflect, delay, destroy, meaning they need to track back, back check, force the attack wide, as Western Michigan is a good center lane team. So if you're North Dakota, good back checking through the middle, force Western Michigan to use the outside lanes, even up numbers, and be able to destroy the attack before their rush gets going.
I love the alliteration there, Dave, as Tyler Clevin puts one goalwards.
Listen, I'm a big believer from a coaching perspective. If you can use buzzwords, your players remember them a lot better. So deflect, delay, and destroy has always been my big buzzwords for when it comes to back checking effectively.
Here's Ronnie Adard now on the puck.
So my team in Macon back in the late 90s, most of that team was French-Canadian, so I had to come up with the French version of deflect, delay, destroy. It wasn't as alliteratively beautiful as that is.
Do you happen to remember what the
Not
French
even
is?
close. I can't remember. I put my keys this morning.
The bilingual Dave Starman here watching North Dakota in a 2-on-1 chance. Ashton Calder, good feet across. Jake Schmaltz was there. The follow-up chance by Cooper Moore, knocked down. Back-to-back stops by Brandon Bussey. First real look at goal tonight for North Dakota. They nearly pulled ahead early on in this contest. North Dakota control their own destiny in the quest for another Penrose, but they face it dangerous.
He scores again in the derby.
Don't miss the Copa Italia semi-finals on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount+.
This year, make good on your resolution to join a community that knows no bounds. Gather with more friends, experiencing places unknown. And become part of a family that knows the best adventures are the ones we share. Embrace each day, knowing that no matter where you go, it'll be one you never forget.
Shop and buy online with Jeep eShop, where right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on select 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee models.
Savor the perfect scenery. Find joy in the perfect smile. Feel the goosebumps on that perfect roar. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters, this April on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
College hockey on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
5 minutes gone here in the first at Ralph Engelstad Arena. Number 7, North Dakota. Number 6, Western Michigan. Another great top 10 battle in the NCHC. Great to have you with us alongside Dave Starman. I'm Alex Heinert. If Dave looks a little tan, he's been in Florida this last week, and now he comes to one of the coldest parts of the country.
100-degree temperature swing from leaving Fort Lauderdale to coming to Grand Forks, but it's worth it in this building, isn't it?
Well, this is one of the best venues in all of hockey. College, pro, you name it. And we're going to be treated to a special night tonight between two of the best teams in the conference.
Oh, no question. I love the way both of these teams are playing. They're playing hard. They're getting goaltending. They're getting clutch scoring out of their defense. They've each got an elite defender that can really move punch. Ronnie Adard being one for Western Michigan. And right now, Ethan Frisch has been just on fire for North Dakota.
6 goals for Frisch in the month of February, the junior defenseman from nearby Moorhead. He's had to really step up his game with Jake Sanderson still out. Sanderson going to the Olympics with Team USA. They're getting injured over in Beijing. He's back skating now with the program, but not quite ready for game action. Shot out of play. This will give us a chance to welcome in the third member of tonight's broadcast team. As always, here's Shireen Saski.
Thanks, Alex. Well, North Dakota is seeking its third straight Penrose Cup as NCHC regular season champion. Last week, before the series against Minnesota Duluth, Brad Berry had all the players meet at center ice after practice and look up at all the conference banners that hang here at the Ralph. They all focused on that, talked about that being the next box to check. Guys?
Thanks, Shireen. Great chance there by defenseman Cedric Fiedler. A good opportunity in the slot. Big save by Driscoll.
Oh, that kid is a absolute laugh riot. We chatted with him a little bit last night. He's from Switzerland, played his youth hockey there. And we talked about, Pat Ferschweiler's always wanted two-way defenseman, and Jason Herta thrives on it.
Another chance there. The opportunity again following Jason Poland this time, lurking inside the slot before the puck taken off him.
So I said to him, when did you start getting to the two-way mode? He goes, when I got here, he goes, in Switzerland, they wanted us just to defend. He goes, I got to Fargo, and all of a sudden they were like, hey, we want you to get into play. He's like, what? And it's been a great thing for him.
Been an eye-opening experience for the young man. He's a talented kid, played for Team Switzerland at the World Juniors last year. Still looking for his first collegiate goal. But a guy with a lot of skill that Pat Ferschweiler and this staff is really high on.
It's funny, Western Michigan's had a lot of guys that have played in the World Juniors. Not a lot of them played for Team USA.
That's right.
They've had a couple, but they've had a lot of Euros that have played well at the World Juniors for them.
I think Hugh McGing, the last one a couple of years ago, repping the red, white, and blue.
Yep. Freddie Tiffels.
That's right.
Germany.
With Germany, yep. Puck dumped in. Nick Ports will give chase. Adder, the All-American, will get there first. Western in the road, black and gold, trying to build from the back. Good check by Louis Jamernick.
I got to tell you one thing. Their head coach, Pat Ferschweiler, should be on the radar to coach a World Junior team in the future.
Originally from Rochester, Minnesota, a Western Michigan grad. Brandon Bussey, they're able to swallow up the puck. Good look for the Broncos early on.
Yeah, Bussey had an interesting first save, but here's a good opportunity for Western Michigan. Shot gets blocked, but Fiedler jumps into the play, and that's what they want. Remember we talked about overwhelm with numbers? This is what we're talking about. The defenseman getting in the play. The green light is always going for all of their defensemen. Ferschweiler wants them all up in the play. He doesn't want five to sell out completely so nobody's back, but he's on first touch. He wants the closest defenseman to the puck off and running. He wants four in the attack. He wants the fifth to get up there, and he wants to make sure they go north quick with numbers to overwhelm opponents in the offensive zone.
That's a downhill mentality that Pat Ferschweiler is bringing to his alma mater. Jackson Kuntz now, local kid from here in Grand Forks, gaining the zone. Back to Jamernick. The backhand centering feed knocked away by Bussey. Tracked down by Brendan Booty. Here is Luke Bast, who scored his first career goal last week in Duluth. The freshman who's really been in the ascendancy of late, trying to put the brakes on. Puck now cleared outside the zone. .26 left here in the first. Shots 4-2 in favor of the home team. Jacob Bauer with Matteo Costantini back. And Western enters this weekend off a splits against a Denver team that had been red hot coming into that weekend in Kalamazoo, North Dakota. Again, the sweep of Minnesota Duluth.
One of the reasons why North Dakota wins is their players make smart plays. Dane Jackson does a lot of work with the D. Here's Bash trying to create something. He's on his off wing. These guy tries to go across the blue line. There's nothing there. What does he do? He puts it in a safe spot. They lose the race. But instead of trying a high-risk play at the blue line where the puck can get knocked off his stick, seeing that he was about to get into trouble with no space, he puts the puck into a quiet area off the wall where there's no danger to try to get his partner to jump over and win a race. Western cleared it, but that's smart hockey.
Here's Chris Jandrick now coming in. Tried the backhanded shot that took a deflection off the skate. Bussey able to cover in the end.
Brandon Bussey is big, he's long, and he's flexible. And here he uses a lot of that reach to get across. He gets a little bit of help in front from Bauer, but Bussey can really cover a lot of net. He had a bit of an injury last year, first game of the season, which set Western back, and he fought long and hard to get back in the lineup by the end of the year. And he said the mental and physical component to his recovery has helped him this year, being much more in tune with how his body feels on a day-to-day basis.
Without Bussey a season ago, the Broncos gave up 3.5 goals a game, and early on, they were giving up 6s, 7s.
You and I did a couple of those games where, like, it just the parade to the back of the net didn't stop.
North Dakota beat this team 8-2 and 6-3 in the NCHC pod. But they grew as the season went on. They got Bussy back at the end of the season. They pushed Minnesota Duluth to overtime in this building in the NCHC quarterfinals. That would have been a team nobody would have wanted to play in the semis had they made it there. And they've carried on that momentum over into this year.
No, Alex, you're right. I've said to a lot of people, with no disrespect to any other coach in the conference, Andy Murray should have deserved a lot of credit, a lot of recognition. The coach of the year last year with the job he did, getting Western Michigan back into a position where they can threaten to win games, especially minus their top goaltender at Bussy.
Pat Ferschweiler told us Bussy reminded him a little bit of Carey Price with the Canadiens. When Price was in the lineup, they had a chance to be a Stanley Cup contender. When he wasn't, they weren't going to win, and that was the case for this Western team a season ago.
I joke with him. I said to him, listen, you don't have to tell me that. I said I was scouting for them.
You lived it.
2 years in a row, and Price got hurt 8 games into the season. However, the good thing about Price getting hurt one of those years was a guy that I really fought for as a free agent was Charlie Lindgren out of St. Cloud State.
Yeah.
And Charlie came in and he was able to prove that he belonged in the NHL. You see Western Michigan has been scoring in bunches, and I like what Pat said earlier this week. He said a lot of the things in terms of where I expected us to be have somewhat happened, especially in terms of how close this team is and the camaraderie that they have and how much they enjoy being at the rink. But I would have been crazy to tell you I thought we would have been the 4th highest scoring team in the nation.
Yeah, the offense has certainly come both from the forward group and from defense. And Ethan Frank, the nation's goals leader this year with 23. A number of Broncos having career seasons as Zach Driscoll blockers the centering feet away.
When was the last time that a player from Nebraska led the NCAA in scoring?
That is a trivia question I'm not going to be able to help you with. Well, Ashton Calder here takes a shot just in front of the North Dakota student section, a little slow to get up. The Lake State transfer, who's got double-digit goals this season in his first year with the program, back on his feet. There was no whistle on the play.
There's the hit. It became a little after whistle as Fulp steps into him. Aiden Fulp with a big rig, likes to play a nice, hard, physical game. And he takes Gaber into the wall. Sorry, not Gaber, takes Calder into the wall. One thing that Western can do, they can play big and heavy on their back end. You get a guy like Fulp who give you some offense. Now we got a penalty.
Another hit along the boards. Carson Albrecht that time taking the full brunts. Looks like Hugh Larkin heading to the penalty box here.
See, when you're a coach and you know that you got away with one, you got to tell your players, listen, for the next 2-3 minutes, don't do anything. Puck comes up the wall. There's the takedown. And North Dakota with a chance to get on the power play here.
You mentioned Larkin. It was actually number 20, Jamie Rome, in the box. First power play of the night for the home team. Both of these coaches talked about the importance of special teams this weekend.
I'll tell you what, this was a rarity you just saw. Connor Ford generally does not lose offensive zone draws on a left wing dot. Like the weekend before Duluth, he was almost perfect. I think he was 9 for 9 in first faceoffs on that left wing dot, and he was great at Duluth in that same role.
Western Michigan, the top penalty kill in the conference, 84%. Number 15 in the country as Ford gets dumped in the corner. Fulp involved again. Calder back on it. Ethan Frisch here at the blue line. He would be right around 24% on the season, 5th best in the conference. They did have 3 power play goals a week ago against Duluth. Shot by Calder, knocked down in front. Ford going back to work, the grad student from Bowling Green. Jandrick, the Fairbanks transfer over to Frisch, who's been white hot on the power play of late. His shot knocked off into the corner. 55 seconds left on the Rome penalty. Calder along the half wall up to Jandrick. The junior D-man sees that puck taken away. Drew Warad happy to clear back down to Zach Driscoll. Second unit's on now for both sides.
One thing that Western is really good at, if you're watching at home, they really pressure up high well, whereas a lot of teams like to push down. Western Michigan, just watching them on film, they love to front up and take the points away, which playing North Dakota is not the worst idea in the world with how good their defense has been.
Cooper Moore on the keep, across to Luke Bast.
See how tight they get?
It pays off here. Josh Passelt, no stranger to a shorthanded goal or two. The 5th-year senior from Wisconsin making a nuisance of himself at the blue line.
that Denver weekend, I think Western Michigan had 3 or 4 shorthanded breakaways, and it's all because of how well they pressure up high and how well they attack triggers. Their defensive sticks are great. They're in lanes, and they attack every puck reception that they can to try to cause a turnover. You saw a great example of it on that last shorthanded situation.
Rome now out of the box. One shot on Brandon Mussey's net on the power play as Carson Albrecht rings the near post just as the penalty expired. The long carom comes down. Here's Chad Hilbrand now, pushed into the corner by Tyler Clevin. Great look from Albrecht, who scored his first career goal a week ago on Saturday night in Duluth. The reaction from the North Dakota bench, something to behold. The junior who's been grinding for 3 years in this program finally gets rewarded. He nearly had number 2, and he's on the breakaway here. Albrecht could not get the shot away. Bussey at full stretch, able to put him off. Back-to-back opportunities for number 13 in white and Kelly Green.
Fulp came back, 24 in black, and made a really good hockey play to slow Albrecht down as Albrecht was going to the net. A good legal one, but he got lucky too because that was Fulp's man and he fell asleep on him.
Here's Sendin now putting one in front. Kuntz the shot off the rebound after Booty missed the initial chance. Western Michigan happy to get this one clear. North Dakota with the momentum right now. A couple of good chances here from the home team in the last several minutes.
How much do you love the pace of this game?
We expected it to be like this. Two teams that love to get up and down, that love to attack. Western, one of the top offensive teams in the country. North Dakota, who's been scoring goals in bunches here in this recent run. They've taken 21 of their last 24 possible points since that sweep in Kalamazoo. And that was a weekend where they only scored 1 goal. Judd Caulfield shorthanded, the only goal North Dakota scored at Lawson that weekend.
You know, going back and watching those 2 games, like that was one of those, you know, when the men were men and the sheep were scared kind of series. I mean, wow. The bodies were flying, ice bags all over. I mean, that was a rough series. Well played, but I mean, that was big boy hockey.
Western Michigan won the first game 4-1. They won the second 1-0. Or 2-0, excuse me. Empty netter at the very end of that contest. As Schmaltz puts one in. Ashton Calder on the tip. North Dakota on the board first.
Strikes first. They elongate the rink with a good up ice pass. And then the chip, and off they go to work. Good net drive. Western Michigan falls asleep a little bit on their coverage. And Calder comes through. Calder just puts a stick down and tips it. He's got Bussey going one way. He tips it back the other side. But the play was really made in the neutral zone with a good chip in to create a race and a second opportunity for North Dakota to threaten the net.
Great feed as well from Jake Schmaltz, the freshman centerman, finding Calder. 11th of the season for the Sault Ste. Marie lad. And now watch Calder the rest of this game. He's got 4 multi-goal games this season. When he scores, it typically comes in bunches. Big goal for North Dakota to take advantage after they had a couple of good opportunities. Cooper Moore now putting one in. Shot deflected in the end, past Bussey. Shots now 8-3 in favor of North Dakota. Schmaltz and Constantini, 2 freshmen on the assists tonight. Jackson Kuntz, another freshman, that time nearly picking the pocket of Ronnie Addard.
Remember we talked about deflect, delay, destroy. Addard wanted to get up ice quick, wants to get north and going. What does North Dakota do? Backtrack, slow him down, and force him to move the puck and get off the ice after you had to grind out getting the puck back.
Offside the call here with 5:17 left in the first. Brad Berry's team off to a strong start here at home on senior weekends. Schmaltz to Ashton Calder. North Dakota up by 1 late in the first.
There's a moment. The moment we ask, what if?
What if we could go further, jump higher, or run the whole thing? What if we could be who we're meant to be?
And become who we look up to. This is the moment it all starts.
This is the moment it all starts.
but only if we get the chance to have it.
I feel like they've just ASMR. You say ASMR.
We're pulling internet out of your room. Sonic, double stuffed Oreo, waffle cone, and blast.
You're getting cut off.
Let it rain, Randy! That's how you make like it never even happened.
Serve Pro.
Welcome back to Grand Forks. North Dakota up 1-0 late in the first. Last weekend, North Dakota was banged up and needed bodies on the bench. So Bradbury asked Mark Senden, the captain, who was injured at the time, if I dress you and promise not to play you, can you come on the bench? Can you help us out? I need you there for numbers and to help with the players. Of course, Mark said, absolutely, I'd love to. What happened? He became another voice on the bench. He said, when you have a race like this, it's nice to know you've got vets who can dig in, and Bradbury happy he can count on Senden. Senden said, had I not been on the bench, I wouldn't have been there for Carson Albrecht's first career goal. I was so happy I was there for that moment. Guys?
What an awesome story. Sending a guy who's been a leader since early on in his hockey career, a captain at Wayzata, led them to a state championship in the Minnesota High School League. Captain at Fargo, led them to a Clark Cup in juniors. And now a captain here at North Dakota.
There's something about recruiting guys that wear letters. You know, they just get it. It is really important that your leadership group is an extension of your coaching staff, especially with the message.
That chance that's on by Booty, thrown in off the skates. And just wide is Fiedler. Takes down Brady Ferner into the corner. That's been a dangerous corner for North Dakota's players to go here in the first period.
Dave Poulin, a longtime captain in the NHL, former coach at Notre Dame, once said to me, the most important 3 minutes in a game are the 3 minutes after the coach walks out of the locker room between periods, and it's only the players in there, because that's when the leadership group has to enforce the message from the coaching staff and make sure that everybody's on board for the next set of 20 minutes. And that is something where I think Mark Senden proved to be huge in that last game at Duluth, because once Brad and Dane and the gang walked out, then Senden could take over and set the tone for the next period coming up.
Great kid from the Twin Cities area. In his fourth year with the program, he could come back, of course, for a second senior season if he chooses to. He and Gavin Hain, the only two seniors remaining from a 7-man freshman class from the 2018-2019 season for North Dakota that feature a couple of guys playing in the NHL right now. And Jasper Weatherby, who scored last night for San Jose. Jacob Bernard-Docker as well, up in the show with Ottawa.
By the way, another guy made his move to pro hockey. Remember Justin Pettit, former equipment manager at Western Michigan, now equipment manager in the American Hockey League. He's watching the game tonight. Tuning in, seeing his Broncos. Worked a long time with that man, Pat Ferschweiler, and there's Ron Titanic. Came over from Army West Point in the beard. The new equipment manager here in town for Western Michigan.
Easy man to pick out there on the bench. Andy Murray, such a big part in this program's rise again for the last 10 seasons. And he's stepping down after this last year. Made it clear that it's not a retirement, just a resignation. Still got a lot of fire, which we saw on display here in the NCHC for the previous 8 years since Western joined the conference. Good stick battle there at the blue line by Senden, freeing up Calder, the North Dakota goal scorer. Jacob Bauer.
Great stick by
able to put him
Bauer.
out wide. That's a fantastic play by number 2. And black and gold as the chance eventually comes. Griffin Ness, who was Senden's teammate on that state title winning team at Wayzata, sends the puck up and over. We'll have a chance to step away with 3:06 left in the first. Ashton Calder, his tally the difference so far between these two top 10 teams here at the route tonight.
Oh, it's the birthday girl! Hey, let's invite Jacques.
Let's not invite Jacques.
Whoa! Sure, he struggles on conference calls, but he's such a dedicated employee. And he can really pull off stripes.
You're right. Hey, Jacques.
Come join us. Come on.
Yeah. Here it comes. Oh, there's a wind of some kind.
This might take a while.
The overtime went into overtime. What do? you turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Psst, psst.
Allergies don't have to be scary. Spraying Flonase daily stops your body from overreacting to allergens all season long. Psst, psst. Flonase, all good.
Get ready for bull riding. Coming up Sunday night as PBR Unleash the Beast heads to Little Rock. That's Sunday at 8 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network. The Bad Boy Mowdown coming your way Sunday from Arkansas. Mark Sendin and company, a 1-goal advantage. Pretty goal from Ashton Calder, courtesy of Jake Schmaltz and Matteo Costantini, midway through the opening frame. Faceoff coming to the left of Brandon Bussey. North Dakota, one of the top faceoff teams in the country once again this season, number 4 in terms of total win percentage. Western Michigan not too far behind. Great chance potentially here on the breakaway. Chet Hillebrand stopped by Driscoll, but a penalty coming. Western so quick in transition, and it creates an opportunity and eventually a power play.
You know, one area you just mentioned, Western Michigan has just not shown to be a great face-off team lately, but one thing they do really well is that. They love that long north pass, that up the gutter, and a good drive to the net draws the penalty, and Western will get a chance on the power play here late in the period. Good momentum shift time of the period. I'm trying to find the penalty here, and it might have just been a grab on the arm.
Brent Johnson called for the hold in the end. Hillebrand a great chance. Johnson to the box, the freshman defenseman from Texas. First power play opportunity for the Broncos.
See, against Denver, this is where I thought Western struggled a little bit, was A, winning first face-offs, and conversely on the penalty kill side, especially in that Friday night game, they lost a lot of first face-offs that led to Denver getting some pretty good chances. And you know, Bradbury talked about it this week. Pat Ferschweiler talked about it this week. The importance of starting with the puck. And when you got an elite face-off guy like North Dakota does at Ford, and he wins a ton of draws. Doesn't win that one, but he wins a ton of draws. And for Western Michigan, their top guy is Warad, who is really starting to develop into a really dependable on-the-dot guy.
Western Michigan is missing what had been their second centerman. Max Sasson has really come on since that North Dakota series. The freshman day-to-day could play tomorrow. He's made the trip and practiced on Thursday and had morning skate as well this morning. Western choosing to hold him out. They held their own last week against Denver, and also one of the top face-off teams in the country, as that shot comes in from Warad, deflected away by Driscoll. Western 27% on the power play this season. They had 3 power play goals a week ago against the Pioneers. They also had 3 against North Dakota back in January in Kalamazoo. Good clear, though, here by the Fighting Hawks. Western forced to reset. 2 minutes left in the period, 1:10 left on the penalty.
Warad, 13 in black. He's shifty on the power play because he is such an elite level passer. He can freeze you, look you off, and send it somewhere else. He can go behind the back. Makes him really dangerous when the puck's on his stick.
He has 32 assists this season, Dave. 32, second most in the country.
You don't get 32 assists by accident. You might get 10, but not 32.
He's having a phenomenal senior season, the young man from Ontario. There's Passelt now outside the circle. Trying to find his man down low. That's Tim Washi. Pick up top to Aiden Fulp. Addard, who's got a bomb of a shot. It goes wide of Driscoll's cage. Kept in, though, by Fulp. Addard himself had a couple of power play goals in their first meeting this season between UND and Western. The Flyers draft pick will chase it down. He'll send it in front. Driscoll the stop. Traffic was there, but not much of a rebound for the Apple Valley native.
Warad gets a good shot. It's a low shot. They don't get a secondary opportunity on it. They buzzed a little bit, but I don't think they got the look they wanted to. Finally, Addard towards the end of his shift, instead of trying to overextend and make a hard play, he just gets the puck to the net with a little bit of traffic there, hoping that Washi could pop home a rebound.
Face off to the right of Driscoll. 21 seconds left in the Johnson penalty. Warad with the win against Ford. Joyo in possession. Joe having a phenomenal season as well. 28 points from defense.
And he has got an absolute rocket of a shot. And he's been using it to score. Much like what Frisch has been doing for North Dakota. is the same kind of thing Joyo can do for Western. I mean, he might be the best power play quarterback in the country.
He's certainly having a season that would reflect that. 7 goals this year for Joyo to go along with 21 assists. Another guy that's really stepping up in his senior campaign. A couple of shots on goal, by the way, on that power play, which is now expired. Back to 5-on-5.
Let me go this way. Jake Sanderson, to me, is the best power play quarterback in the country. But Joyo has proven that he can run a really good power play. Let's rephrase it that way.
That's a good way to phrase it, yes. Sanderson, by the way, still second on North Dakota in scoring, despite missing now 11 games this season. Puck sent out of play with 17 seconds left in the first. Coming up during the intermission break, Shireen will chat with a North Dakota player, plus we'll have a profile on the Western Michigan Broncos, as well as analysis from the opening 20 minutes. An entertaining opening 20, just the 1 goal so far to separate these two.
By the way, I want to say hello to former Broncos coach Andy Murray, who is tuned in tonight watching the game from Florida.
Oh, good for Andy. Face-off win here by North Dakota. Sent up and again into the UND bench with 13 seconds left.
Andy had some of the great one-liners as we would chat about different things on coaches' calls or when we all got together. I mean, just wonderful sense of humor. And I got to tell you, with the way he teaches and his approach, I'd love to see him take like a really good U16 team for a couple of years. Like take them from 15 to 16 and go 2 years with an age group. I think that would be a great thing to watch.
Andy with so much NHL experience. 10 years with the Broncos as well.
Though that 7 a.m. game on the Saturday morning in some of those tournaments might not work so well.
Those don't work for anybody, Dave.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Time winding down in the corner. That's going to do it for the opening 20. Ashton Calder's goal, the difference between number 7 North Dakota and number 6 Western Michigan. A good one brewing here at the route, as we expected, between the Fighting Hawks and Broncos. First period in the books. Our score: North Dakota 1, Western Michigan 0. You're watching the NCHC on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
The nation's best hockey fans deserve the nation's best gear, and there's only one place to find it. Get ready for the NCHC season at shopnchc.com. Home to all of the best gear for your favorite team. For exclusive, officially licensed designs you can't find anywhere else. Gear up now or shop anytime at shopnchc.com. Shopnchc.com. Your home for exclusive NCHC gear.
Addiction is a treatable chronic disease that impacts every community in our state. If you're struggling with addiction, remember that you're never alone. Even in these times, there are virtual health visits, resources, and recovery professionals ready to help. Whether you're starting down the road to recovery or just need another person to talk to, someone is there. Reach out at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
Welcome to Allstate, where bundling your home and auto could save you up to 25%. Home plus auto equals savings. That makes a lot of sense. Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Click or call for a quote today.
TurboTax Live matches you with the right tax expert. I've been paired with you because I have expertise that applies to your life.
So you're a perfect match for a freelancer who just bought a home that's also her office?
That's right.
What if?
I invest in crypto in my hometown of Gravity, Iowa.
Then I would say you're down to earth and help you report your gains and losses.
What if I work in London, live in New York, and shot a Super Bowl commercial in Los Angeles?
I can sort that all out for you.
Get matched to your tax expert with TurboTax Live.
The number 2, go.com.
North Dakota looking for its 5th straight win, leading 1-0 over Western Michigan after 1. Well, joining me now is Connor Ford of North Dakota. And Connor, these are two teams that love to go at it. The action is fast-paced. What did you like about the first period?
Yeah, I mean, that's great hockey. That's about as good as it gets around here in college hockey. You know, it's fast, hard, heavy. Not a lot of time and space out there. You got to make smart, simple, hard plays.
Western is so good on the transition game. What do you need to do to slow that down?
We got to manage pucks through the neutral zone. They capitalize on turnovers, rush plays, and also back check really hard when we do turn those pucks over to limit their opportunities.
You guys have focused on staying in the moment. Here it is, the last weekend at home this season. You're looking at a Penrose Cup. Give me an idea of the mentality right now.
Yeah, we control our destiny. We wouldn't want it any other way. We've earned this opportunity, and now we just got to go out there and take advantage of it.
Thanks, Connor. Appreciate your time. Coming up, we will take a look at the Western Michigan Broncos and their first-year head coach, Pat Ferschweiler, when we continue from Grand Forks, North Dakota.
The NCHC Frozen Face-Off returns to XL Energy Center and the state of hockey. 4 NCHC teams will do battle at the 2022 NCHC Frozen Face-Off on March 18th and 19th. Don't miss a moment of the action as the best in college hockey take the ice in St. Paul. Purchase your Frozen Face-Off tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
There's a moment. The moment we ask, what if?
What if we could go further, jump higher, or run the whole thing? What if we could be who we're meant to be?
And become who you look up to. This is the moment it all starts.
This is the moment it all starts.
But only if we get the chance to have it.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Let it rain, Randy! Woo! Yes! By being prepared for anything! Woo! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
If you don't have the stuff in between an Oreo cookie, is it an Oreo cookie or is it just 2 cookies? Sonic double stuffed Oreo waffle cone and blast. Just saying. I think the stuff is what matters.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Matt, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
The Road Warrior Broncos are looking for a program best 13th win away from home. They've got 2 more chances this season to try to make that mark happen. Well, this marks the beginning of a new era in Western Broncos hockey. Yes, Western Michigan has a new head coach in Pat Ferschweiler, and they are now number 4 in the pairwise in the nation. Things are going good for the new head coach.
We're extremely excited and honored that Pat has accepted our job, and let's hear it for our next coach.
It was the worst kept secret in college hockey that eventually you would be the head coach of Western Michigan. You played at Western, then you were an assistant. You left to go to the Red Wings as an assistant. Right. You came back to Western as an associate head coach. Wasn't the plan all along you would be the successor?
Well, it was my plan, Shereen, but I'm not the decision maker that hires myself. So, obviously it worked out, and through a lot. But as a player at Western, I came from Minnesota. I didn't know anything about Western. As soon as I got on campus, I knew it was a special place for me, and it was the right fit. And it fit my playing style, fit my personality. And then when I had the chance to come back with Blash and to kind of help Western be Western again, that was an exciting time too. And then to get the experience of the National Hockey League was incredible, and to be able to bring some of that back to these players is great too.
How are you handling the different dynamic now as head coach? When you're an assistant or an associate head coach, the dynamic with your players is one way. When you're the head coach, you're the tough guy. You're the one they have to answer to. How have you found that transition?
I honestly believe you are who you are, and be yourself. I think if I stop being myself, and I think some people make that mistake when they transition from assistant coach to head coach, is they change who they are. Like, our players know exactly who I am. I'm as honest as you can possibly be. I'm demanding without being demeaning of them as people. But we set a standard. And that standard was there as when I was associate head coach, and it's there as a head coach as well. Last year, we all saw it in the pod. We had a young crew. We had a veteran goalie who we were going to count on early. And he went down in the first period of the first game. And we were in trouble for a little while in the pod. We had to play 10 games in 19 days. There was no time to practice and do these things you love to do with a young team. We came together as a team. We finished the season really strong. Our group decided we weren't going to have excuses. And we're just going to come together. And I think that's the philosophy we're carrying into this year is, we have a lot of returning players. We know we're giving nothing. And we know there may be adversity along the way, but we're ready to handle it. We can control our effort. We can control our approach every day. And we can control maximizing our abilities. And that's what we're going to do.
And the Broncos continue to do it without their captain, Paul Washe, who hasn't played since December 29th. He was arraigned today on a third-degree criminal sexual conduct charge, a felony in Michigan District Court. A complaint was filed against Paul Washe in December, though details of the allegation have not been disclosed. An official for the school said today they are aware of the charges and that Washe remains suspended indefinitely, as he has been since early January. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Some people say, if you want to see America, see it on the 4th of July. But America is just as beautiful on the 4th of January or February. Stripped of its leaves, but not drained of its color. No one experiences a true American winter the same way. But those with the confidence and capability in the all-new 2022 Grand Wagoneer will remember the adventure as long as they live.
One shake and cats come running.
They're matches.
So be careful what you shake.
Run away!
Temptations cat treats. All it takes is a shake.
The overtime went into overtime. What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
You and me, partner, we meet center of town, high noon.
Hold on. Nope, Daisy's got last one lessons at noon.
Okay, high 2 o'clock?
I got a spur fitting at 2 o'clock. How's about 3?
I'm getting thrown through a saloon window at 3.
We don't need any more overscheduling, but we could all use more ways to save.
I can squeeze you in between swim class and Kevin's Harp recital at 3:30. Always eating beans at 3:30. Right.
Switch to Geico for more ways to save.
Tell you what about Tuesday?
Fire it up, Randy!
That's how you make like it never even happened, happen.
Serve Pro.
See you tomorrow.
Say hello to Guinness Nitro Cold Brew Coffee Beer. Swirling with hints of espresso, chocolate, and caramel. From the brewer who invented Nitro Beer. A new way to brighten up your day.
First intermission continues here in Grand Forks. Number 7, North Dakota, a 1-0 advantage over number 6, Western Michigan. Fast-paced, back-and-forth hockey, Dave, just like we expected tonight.
Absolutely. Two teams that both have a lot to play for. Two teams that both like to get up the ice quickly. And I thought each team got a couple of real good looks, especially early on in that period.
As we look at the highlights, just the one goal to tell you about, but one that North Dakota probably deserved. A couple of good chances for UND in the first.
All right, so if you take a look here, this player's heading in this direction. Why? Because take a look what's going on here. You got a line change. So this player here recognizes the last place you want to put the puck is here. You want to move it in that direction away from the scrum. Roll it through. Here comes the pass. Here's a little chip that we talked about during the period. That play happened. Stop it for 1 second. This player here is now going to turn and go this way instead of holding the middle lane. That opens up a center lane drive for North Dakota. Roll it through. And a perfect bullseye pass as they catch Western Michigan in a little bit of a defensive coverage mix-up. But it all started with a great pass up ice, away from the flow, away from the bench, to get open ice sprung, and North Dakota took a 1-0 lead.
Matteo Costantini to Jake Schmaltz to Ashton Calder, and just like that 1-0 to the home team. Western Michigan closed the period well. They had moments in the first 20, Dave, where you could see the explosiveness of this Broncos squad.
No question, but I got to tell you, an area where it's got to get better for Western Michigan is in that area. North Dakota is a really good possession team, and when they start with the puck, they can be lights out, as we saw in period number 1.
We'll see if that trend continues here in the middle stanza. Coming back to the Ralph after this here on CBS Sports Network for period number 2.
Work. There's all kinds. There's the work we do in the morning. The work we do in the dead of night. Problem-solving, world-changing, mind-bending hard work. It's what drives us. To lead the way, unwilling to quit. Because the work we do, it's bigger than us. It's work worth doing.
Verizon is going ultra with 5G ultra-wideband in many more cities. Mindy, with up to 10 times faster speeds, she can download a movie in minutes or a song in seconds.
Yep.
Verizon is going ultra, so you can do more.
TurboTax Live matches you with the right tax expert. I've been paired with you because I have expertise that applies to your life.
So you're a perfect match for a freelancer who just bought a home that's also her office?
That's right.
What if?
I invest in crypto in my hometown of Gravity, Iowa.
Then I would say you're down to earth and help you report your gains and losses.
What if I work in London, live in New York, and shot a Super Bowl commercial in Los Angeles?
I can sort that all out for you. Get matched to your tax expert with TurboTax Live.
Protection at great low rates you want? Yep. Click or call for a great auto rate today.
One nothing North Dakota. I'm joined by their head coach, Brad Berry. And Coach, I'd have to think that period you probably liked the pace and you probably liked your team's ability to push the puck forward with effectiveness.
Yeah, for sure. I thought we quick up pucks, and I thought we had some intensity on our forecheck there. We got all 4 lines into it. There was only 1 power play each team, so everybody got a little piece of it here. But we got to ramp it up again here. Our intensity has to remain high because I know there's going to be a push from outside.
Thanks so much, Coach. Yep. Good luck in a second.
You can imagine that was the message. Get ready for more of this. It's a Broncos team that has been good on the road. Shireen mentioned earlier, 12 road victories this season for Western Michigan. That ties a program record. They've been pretty good at home as well, as you mentioned. Lawson Ice Arena, a tough place to go to and find success.
Is that a fun place or what? Between the Lawson Lunatics and the band and just the old style of the rink, I love that place.
Well, bouncing puck that time that Driscoll had to be ready for. That, by the way, is one of the beauties of college hockey and this conference in general. You can have a phenomenal, luxurious building like the Ralph, an NHL-like facility, and you can have Lawson Ice Arena, which is old school. You're right on top of the ice. It's loud. It's different, and they can both be fantastic.
Oh, no question. You look at Miami's a great building, somewhat brand new, it's 20 years old or so, but you're right on top of the action. It's a gorgeous facility, and Amsoil Arena in Duluth, terrific. Omaha, Baxter's a great building. We felt like we spent the year there last December. I mean, just a lot of neat buildings in the conference.
Robeson Arena new this year in Colorado Springs. The Herb over at St. Cloud State as well. Yeah, like you said, just going down the list. There's a lot to like, but fun to see the contrast from one school to the next.
I think early on in this period, a couple of things to keep an eye on. Number one, for Western Michigan, as Coach Berry said, can they ramp it up and play their game? Can they get numbers in the attack? Can they get going and can they control the center lane of the ice? For North Dakota, I think, again, their possession game was a key point period number 1, and it started on the dot. They won a lot of first draws, and they also won a lot of secondary wins, meaning on a scramble, they were able to come up with a puck, like that one right there. So, for North Dakota, I think if they can continue doing what they're doing on the dot, that gives them the ability to do what they just did, and that is get out clean, get pucks in, force Western to go 200 feet.
WMU drawing at 55% this season. They're doubling up the Broncos right now in the face-off circle. Here is Ashton Calder, who snapped a 7-game goal drought, which is a long one for him this season. Led the WCHA with Connor Ford a season ago with 16, playing for Lake Superior State. Shot from the point blocked on the way in. Broncos trying to get that transition game going, headed off well by Luke Bast. Bast back to Moore. The sophomore up to Calder with all sorts of space. Calder centering feed. What a save by Bussey! Brandon Bussey post to post to deny North Dakota their second of the night.
Bussey's a backwards goalie, means he catches with his right hand, and that came in perfect on this one. Real good stretch on the pass here by North Dakota. Another really good centering pass, and Bussey, we talked about him being long, gets the glove out, gets the pad out, and able to cover up.
6'5", 220, a great athlete.
And you know where he's from, don't you?
Why, Long Island?
Yeah, you can say it, that's right.
Can you tell me where Sound Beach
Yes, I
is?
can.
Okay, we're going to bring up the map at some point. Loose puck in front. Dave Starman's geography lesson coming during the second period tonight.
Sound Beach on the South Shore, out in Suffolk County.
One of these days.
It's south of Greenlawn. How's that?
There you go. Bussey, one of a number of Long Island guys in the conference, much to Dave's delight this year. Carson Albrecht shot from the point, saved by Bussey, the follow-up chance. Good opportunity there for UND. Ness trying to center it in. An important intervention by Tim Washi to get in the way, and it remains 1-0. Here comes Carson Albrecht now as that puck rims all the way around. The junior loses an edge, though. Ronnie Addard able to clean up. Here comes Western the other way. Luke Granger, the sophomore centerman. Puck taken away by Moore only for a moment. Passel back on it. Up to Addard. The one-time shot knocked down. 7th save of the night for Zach Driscoll. Western back on the attack. Jamie Rome up top to Addard. Former USHL MVP over to Fulp. His shot blocked down again by Driscoll to the corner.
Driscoll's so calm, and he knew what was coming. Addard turned his toes toward Fulp, knew the one-timer was coming, and Driscoll hit his mark, and a safe rebound.
And Driscoll just the third goalie in NCHC history, albeit the young history, to have 3 consecutive Goaltender of the Week awards. And by the way, it is his birthday today. Golden birthday for Zach, 25 on the 25th of February.
Great stretch out by Bussey again, as you see it from the overhead. Leads with the foot and gets it over there as North Dakota gets on the attack. Bussey, when you look at the push-off, look at the left foot. The left foot spurs it, leads with a stick, and gets over to make a good stop.
Would have been something for Mark Senden to score on his return, and the captain missing the last 4 games. An upper body injury that he suffered in the second game against Omaha in this building. That was a tough night for North Dakota. They lost Louis Jamernick and they lost Mark Senden. Gavin Haynes still out with a long-term lower body injury, so the identity line, as they've been calling it here, all missing in action the last couple of weeks. Jamernick came back last week against Minnesota Duluth, Senden back tonight.
See, Haynes got to go back to Omaha and go get out in the hot tub or go get in the cold tub in the courtyard like he did last year.
In 10-degree weather.
Still the most amazing thing I've ever watched. Snow all around, as we got a whistle here, puck touch with a stick on the bench by Western. Last year we were in the pod, North Dakota, we're all in the same hotel. North Dakota had a cold tub out in the middle of the courtyard, and for the first few days there it was pretty nice there. Then it got like under 30, a little bit of snow. I'm in the gym doing a cardio. I'm watching Haynes walking around the courtyard trying to fill this thing up with slabs of ice and regular ice and water, and he's in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. I'm like, in 25-degree weather, he's not going to get in a cold tub, is he? And he sure as heck did. Played the next night.
Yes, he did. Recovery. They make him a little different in Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
Yes, they do. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if they just bring him back to Omaha, throw him in the cold tub in the middle of the hotel parking lot, it'd be perfect.
Who needs the cryo chamber, right?
That's right on. Old school.
Western trying to get something going. Quick shot by Poland. Knocked aside by Driscoll. The rebound off the end boards was there for a moment. The danger passes in the end. Jason Poland, though, that quick release. The Michigan man nearly making it 1-1. Poland this time trying to play the helper. Nobody home, though, on his centering feed from below the goal line. Adder back to retrieve. Good push here by the Broncos. 4 minutes into the seconds. This will be an icing, however. A couple of good chances for Western Michigan a moment ago.
Yeah, Driscoll's real good at looking through traffic. Here he makes a good first stop, and then the puck just became hot potato, and Western couldn't get a secondary opportunity as Glover came barreling in. And keep your eye on Glover, 27 and black as the night goes on, and he is just a big rig. He's a handful to deal with in the crease. Here he comes. But he is a guy who's great on puck retrievals. He's great in hard areas in front of the offensive net. We use the term investing in the slot. And if investing in the slot was a financial thing, he'd be a billionaire by now. He is so good there.
Griffin Ness! No, they're going to wave this off. A tight angle shot beat Bussy high.
And it's a penalty on North Dakota. So the whistle technically blew before the shot as Albrecht is going to get called for hooking right off the draw. Ness takes the draw. There's 13 in white. Gets the stick up. Takes Fulp off the puck. And that is some shot. But all for naught. There's the penalty. It's stick parallel to the ice, in on the hands of Fulp. It's an automatic call. And a power play for Western Michigan as they dodge a bullet.
A big momentum swing potential here. Seconds away from being 2-0 instead. This Bronco power play back on the attack. And it starts with a face-off win. Joyo through traffic. Initial save by Driscoll. The follow-up knockdown. Ethan Frank, the nation's goal leader, had the opportunity for a second behind the goal line. He'll reset in the end. Driscoll does not have his goal stick. Great stick this time by Mark Senden to break up the pass, allowing his netminder to collect his twig and reset.
Remind me, I've got a goalie losing a stick story that involves Dean Jackson. It's a good one. Remind me.
There's a tease coming up later when the action slows down. Dane, by the way, now in his 16th season on the bench for his alma mater, the associate head coach for North Dakota. Here comes Ronnie Adder. Good check by Jandrick along the half boards. Driscoll plays it with the stick. Jandrick able to clear the puck. Bussy back to collect. 1:05 left on the Albrecht penalty. Hasselt. Hassled and harried, and eventually puck taken away by Jamernick. Another change for the North Dakota penalty kill. 5.5 gone in period number 2. Western Michigan looking for the equalizer. Ashton Calder with the opener for North Dakota midway through the first. Not much doing so far in the man advantage for the Broncos.
What was interesting, I thought that the offensive zone play that Western Michigan had against Denver a couple of weeks ago was good on the power play, but their entries were a little 50-50, and they just haven't gotten coordinated. The support hasn't been there to grab the line and be able to get into their setup.
Good strength by Judd Caulfield, the Penguins draft pick who's from Grand Forks. They're at the blue line. Joyo on the dump in with 15 seconds left in the power play. Moore gets there first. Morad though able to win it back. Joyo over to Fiedler. His shot stopped by Driscoll. 13th save of the contest for the senior netminder. Morad though from the slot, good chance. Gallant had the opportunity on the rebounds. Puck loose in front. Albrecht out of the box. How about 5 shots for the Broncos over those last 2 minutes? They got a couple of decent looks. Nothing to show for it, though, and now Connor Ford coming back in 5-on-5. Western able to break up the advance. Here they come the other way. Ethan Frank, who can absolutely fly, going wide on Jandrick. Looking for help. He'll throw it in front. Albrecht there to collect. Jake Schmaltz lifting it out of the zone. Frank right on Jandrick to prevent the defenseman from collecting the puck cleanly.
And you saw Frank try to buy time and space. Who jumped into the play was 2, the defenseman, Bauer. And that's what Western wants. They want their D up. They want their D to attack.
They have the green light, that is for sure. Hilstendegger, speaking of, his shot goes wide.
And this is their third pair of defense right here that are getting more minutes and building more trust. And as far as Western Michigan goes, and both of their defense have jumped up into the play here.
Bauer!
That's
in
it.
The back of the net! Right on cue, Jacob Bauer! First career goal for the freshman, and it's 1-1.
Oh, does that have to make Jason Herder thrilled? Because before the game, we were talking about this pair and about how they're starting to get much more involved. And look at Bauer. I mean, that takes a lot of athleticism to do what he just did. He's fallen, he's wide, he doesn't have feet planted real well. His edges are all over the place, and he golfs one up over the shoulder of Zach Driscoll. It was the second time in the shift that he got involved and got into a good scoring area, a good grade A, going into the net to try to get a pass and layer in the attack, and his partner Ilsendager did the same thing, caused some coverage issues. Western gets a big goal out of their defense.
How about Bauer? You were just talking about him. Third D pair tonight for Western Michigan. The freshman who was from the state of Michigan, from Milford, able to equalize here. Now they're looking for more. Passled on the rush. The centering feed in the direction of Adder, too strong.
Western had an okay power play. They got offensive zone play. Their rushes were a little shaky, and they came out of the power play on fire and still in attack mode.
Shots on goal 10-2 in this period right now in favor of the visitors. They have stormed back, as you mentioned, after that power play. Now a chance here in front, another opportunity to pull in front. Passelt was there.
And that's another defenseman. That's Ronnie Adder this time, taking the puck down low.
They are not afraid to activate from the back.
They're like an Air Force. I mean, they just keep coming at you in waves as the dive bombers just keep going and going.
Puck sent up by Ness. This will be an icing with 11:25 left in the second. Shots now 16-10 in favor of the team from Kalamazoo. Bradbury mentioned we're going to expect a push from this Western team. They've certainly gotten that here in the opening 8 minutes.
They got their push, and he talked about Western Michigan earlier this week, about their pace, how well they can rim pucks around, how they move it quick, they support, they stretch it. And you've seen a little bit of it through the game as North Dakota has called timeout. And they will get a chance to talk this over. And to me, the message from Bradbury, I believe, will be along the lines of, let's hit the reset button here. We're getting out-skated. They're getting to the front of the net a little too easy. Their defense are flying. So let's start looking over shoulders. Let's start moving pucks wide. Let's manage it better. And let's start getting across the offensive blue line. I think, to me, it's more of a mental reset here. And also gives this team a chance just to catch its breath. Meanwhile, the tireless coaching staff of Western Michigan, and I love the look, Pat Ferschweiler, I guarantee you, is continuing to tell his team, okay, now we've got traction in this game. Now we're moving. Now we're playing Western Michigan hockey. Keep it going. You're seeing the D's getting involved. You're seeing the forwards getting pucks in the front of the net. And the one thing that Western loves to do is funnel pucks in the hard areas so that their big rigs can go to work. But they also know that guys like Glover, who can get pucks back, are so good at helping them reload offensively.
11:25 left in the period. Sometimes you like to hang on to your timeout a little later on for a challenge or for a late moment in the contest. But Bradbury sensing that icing call, some tired bodies on the ice, and as you said, a great chance to just steady the ship, reset. Brad, now in his 7th season in charge of his alma mater, has a good read on his team and a good feel for the game, of course.
Plus, don't forget, in college hockey, you can call a timeout. You can change lines if you want, if you don't like the matchup.
Out of the timeout, face-off win for the Broncos. Shot by Joyo, knocked down before it got to Driscoll. Here comes Calder. Puck sent in. Sendin waiting for it. Jamie Rome gets there first. Fiedler now going to shovel that one out. Rome trying to collect. They get by Schmaltz, feed it back. Ranger, Fiedler, shot deflected. Calder trying to fly the zone this time. Long stretch pass from Tyler Clevin. Good check by Joyo, though. Fiedler back on it for the Broncos. Western Michigan, number 6 in the country, but number 3 or number 4 in the pairwise, depending on where you look. If the season ended today, they would be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, and they nearly get the go-ahead goal there. Great chance in front from Cole Gallant. Costantini now. The freshman from St. Catharines, Ontario, a Sabres draft pick, trying to chase the puck down. He'll battle with Fulp, and he'll win that particular battle. Up top to Jandrick. One-timer from Bass, just wide off the end boards. Jandrick back on it. Gallant's able to collect.
Gallant's hockey IQ makes him such a valuable component on that line. You've got a guy like Frank who can really rip it. You've got a guy like Warad who can make plays, and the hockey IQ of Gallant just changes the dynamic of the line completely.
Shot by Constantine deflected out of play. That will send us to a commercial break with 9:48 left in the second. Western Michigan getting a level through the freshman defenseman Jacob Bauer. 1-1 our score.
There's a moment. The moment we ask, what if?
What if we could go further, jump higher, or run the whole thing? What if we could be who we're meant to be?
And become who you look up to. This is the moment it all starts.
This is the moment it all starts.
But only if we get the chance to have it.
Say hello to Guinness Nitro Cold Brew Coffee Beer. Swirling with hints of espresso, chocolate, and caramel. From the brewer who invented nitro beer. A new way to brighten up your day.
Ooh, I can't wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby. That looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
North Dakota scores in the first. The Broncos tally in the second, and we're all tied at 1. Western Michigan's success this year has been due in a large part to their upperclassmen, and two in particular in Ronnie Attard and Ethan Frank. Each had the option to go elsewhere after last season, but each chose to come back. One of the reasons, unfinished business. Ronnie Attard asking the coaching staff, am I ready to play at the next level? The coaching staff said, yeah, but Attard decided this is where he wanted to be this season. With Frank, he only got AHL offers, and he didn't really like what was on the table. Both had benefited from their return this year. Guys?
Certainly those two have, and the program has. Thank you, Shireen. Frank with 23 goals, Attard another all-conference type season. Boyo that time shooting high off the shoulder of Driscoll. And the Broncos out shooting North Dakota 11, now 12-2 in this period. They have stormed back, pulled even. Attard, by the way, first team all-conference last year, an All-American. First returning All-American for the Broncos since a guy named Danny DeKeyser, who's had some success at the NHL level.
Oh, did I chase him all over the country when I was scouting for the Maple Leafs? Oh, my goodness. I think I saw Danny DeKeyser play like every other game for 3 years.
He's been a good one.
Here's the funniest thing. I was at the Leafs. I knew we were in. Like, we were pretty good. Brian Burke did a really good job in recruiting Danny DeKeyser and selling the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I knew we were really in the mix. One day I'm driving out of the parking lot, and I'm behind DeKeyser, and DeKeyser drives out in his car, and he's got a Red Wings license plate wrap on the back of his car, and I thought to myself, there's just no way we're going to get him signed.
He is a Detroit native, so you had that going working against you.
Then one night at the GLI, I'm watching Western playing somebody in the championship game, probably Michigan, and they're singing the anthem, and he's standing on the blue line, looking at the atmosphere, looking up at the banners the whole bit, and that's what I said to myself. That confirmed it to me. We have no shot at getting Danny DeKeyser signed.
Danny, a great career with the Red Wings that continues. And Attard following a bit in his footsteps, another All-American for Western Michigan. Frank, by the way, was All-Conference honorable mention a season ago. He will not be honorable mention this year in the NCAA.
You know, coming back for Frank is interesting because you get a chance to build up that one more year, to build a little bit more street cred and build up your resume and maybe convince somebody that a good two-way deal could be on the table. You know, getting an NHL two-way deal where you got an opportunity to play in the league, but probably start with the American League team. There's a couple of different schools of thought. Like, there are some GMs who thought to themselves, you know, if you're an older player and you go back for one more year, you know, you might be playing against younger players, and therefore your stats are a little skewy. But in this conference, as we get an icing here on North Dakota, in this conference, you get older players. So, and especially with the COVID waiver, like, there's a lot of teams in this conference that are older teams. So you're still playing against the bigger, heavier guys game in and game out.
It has been a great proving ground for players as they make the jump to the NHL. Tyler Clevin, sophomore this year, he'll be making that jump at some point. Second round pick of Ottawa.
Sooner than later is my prediction.
Clevin a goal last week against Minnesota Duluth. Another faceoff win here for the Broncos. They've steadied the ship a bit in the dot of late. Still a -6 on faceoffs, but better in this period.
I can tell you, Ottawa assistant GM Pierre Maguire was in town last night to have dinner with Sanderson and Clevin, and I guarantee you, what they weren't talking about Beijing.
Pierre and the Senators brass were in Duluth last week as well, keeping a close eye on a couple of their prize prospects here in Grand Forks.
I'll tell you this, I do miss Pierre on TV. I thought he was a great watch. I mean, there's a lot of good national analysts out there. I really enjoyed Pierre's views on the game.
Pierre Maguire moving into a leadership role now, back in the NHL. Couldn't keep him forever. Behind the mic as Ty Glover gets taken down.
I got to know him through a friend of a friend. And when I got my first head coaching job in the minor leagues, the first guy to call me to congratulate me was him.
How about that? There's Hilsendeger now at the blue line. Another save by Driscoll. 19 stops now for the fifth-year senior. Hilsendeger able to keep it alive at the blue line. Goes to the corner, looking fresh, a little no-look pass. Back to Clevin. Calder able to shovel it out of the zone. It has been all Western Michigan in this period. Wave after wave of attack from the Broncos. There will be an icing here, however, against the visitors. North Dakota chasing a third consecutive Penrose Cup. As you look over the previous 8 years in the history of this conference, Dave, not a lot of teams have been able to lift that trophy as regular season champions.
And when you look at those teams, there is a lot of players making pretty good money at the National Hockey League level that came off of all those rosters. You wonder why those teams are winning? The players that they have been able to bring in and develop, I mean, it's kind of a who's who of some really good young players in the NHL.
And the culture in those programs as well, as Josh Passel beats out the icing. Good hustle that time from the fifth-year forward. Passel, great feed in front. The chance was there for a moment. Tim Washi was waiting in the slot, never got the shot away. Here comes North Dakota the other direction. Only for a moment, though. Joyo able to bat it back to center.
They have been swarming. Western Michigan's doing a lot of what I thought North Dakota should be doing and did well in the first period, and that is just taking away the middle.
Oh, great feed in front. Costantini in the back of the net. John Caulfield with the find, and the freshman comes up with the finish. 2-1 North Dakota.
Well, they didn't take away the middle there. Boy, did Western get clogged up just on top of their face-off circles. They had just way too many people in each other's way, and they couldn't get out of the zone. And Caulfield, no wasting time, throws the pass towards the front, and Constantini, same deal, uses the D stick as a little bit of an obstacle, and he slashes one past the goaltender, Bussey. Western had all kinds of time to get out. They got in each other's way, and they didn't react to the turnover well, and we have an injury at center ice.
Drew Worat shaken up right off the face-off, and this is a concern here for Western Michigan. The top line center tonight, an assistant captain. We're going to step away for just a moment as Austin Frank, the athletic trainer, checks on him. Back to the Ralph after this.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
There are more than 200 million people with intellectual disabilities. Help them shine for all they can do. Support the Special Olympics USA Games by grabbing a Jersey Mike sub on Wednesday, March 30th, and 100% of sales will be donated.
Prepare your taste buds. Kit Kat Duo's mint and dark chocolate.
Kit Kat Duo's mocha and chocolate. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Say hello to Guinness Nitro Cold Brew Coffee Beer. Swirling with hints of espresso, chocolate, and caramel. From the brewer who invented nitro beer. A new way to brighten up your day.
Good to see Drew Worat up and skating off under his own power. Worat tied up with Griffin Ness in the center circle a moment ago off the ensuing face-off following the Matteo Costantini goal. Here's a look.
There's the stick of Ness. Ness was looking to move him out of the way. This will give you a better look to see what happened here. There's contact with the stick on the back of the neck. That might be the injury. And then Ward gets driven down a little bit on the follow-through by Ness. But to me, Ness looked like he was more leaning over. Nick Krebsbach is with the helmet. Joe Sullivan is sans bucket. And they are looking for the possibility of a major penalty, which would be contact to the head here. They cannot come out of here with a minor. There was no penalty called on the original play. But with the review protocol, they are allowed to go in and take a look if this is a major penalty. We're going to be discussing a little bit of this protocol between periods. And my personal feeling is this: if you didn't have a penalty off the original, then there's no penalty.
Here's another look. Again, right off the opening face-off. Ward has been such a good player for this team. 8 assists in his last 4 games. Again, second in the country in assists this season, 6th in points. A career year for the senior from Ontario.
Now, here's the thing. To me, and granted, we can see it a whole lot differently and a whole lot better. We're not seeing it ice level, game time with other things on our minds. But to me, I mean, you could very easily have called that a cross-check, 2 minutes, and move on.
Yeah.
Following video review, there is no major penalty on the play.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like. If you were going to have the call, yep, cross-check for 2, but probably not enough to merit the full 5.
If on your first look, there's no penalty, there's no penalty. And to me, this has become something that has, I think, slowed all sports down, is the amount of reviews. And it's one thing. I know the coaches want to get it right. I know the officials want to get it right. We've so taken the human element out of this. And on a play like that, if there's no call, there's no call. I know Pat Firstwire was having to explain to him. And we will continue on. But the possibility of losing your number 1 center for a while.
And it is good to see number 13 now making his way back from the tunnel.
And here's the thing. In the old days, the visiting team's locker room was right down that tunnel. It's not anymore. It's across the way.
Right.
So the fact that he came right to the bench was a good sign, leading me to believe that he was just shaken up more than anything.
So Western Michigan now, after dominating most of this period, finds themselves back down a goal. So Caulfield, a pretty assist over to Matteo Costantini, 7th of the season for the freshman. As you said, it was the Broncos, the aggressor, really from the opening drop here in the second. A bit of a sucker punch by UND with 6 minutes left in this middle stanza. And the home team back on top. Carson Albrecht trying to go to work in the corner. A couple of Broncos tied up behind the play. Clevin now over to Cooper Moore. Lost the puck between his skates. Western quick to bounce that time. It'll fall though in the end. So Albrecht both able to get there first. That's now on the puck.
That's pretty good by Albrecht to body off Fulp. Fulp is a big man with big shoulders. That was a great job by Albrecht getting inside the shoulder of Fulp so he can win the battle for the puck.
Brecht's a tough kid, not the biggest guy in the world. Former captain though for the Melfort Mustangs. Chance for Ethan Frank coming forward.
What's the old expression? It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
That's right. Melfort, by the way, in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Loose puck falls to Calder, the backhand chance there. Schmaltz, the rebound opportunity from the slot knocked away. Here comes Joyo the other direction. 1-on-4, however, for the visitors. Joyo takes it wide. Created something out of nothing that time with Frank coming back into the play. Ethan Frank now. Leaving it for Warrad, who's back out there. Warrad and Galat now changing places. Shot by Hilsendegger. Saved in the end by Driscoll. 21st save of the night is Zach Driscoll able to deny Daniel Hilsendegger. 2-1 our score with 4:15 left in the second.
Some people say if you want to see America, see it on the 4th of July. But America is just as beautiful on the 4th of January or February. No one experiences a true American winter the same way. But those with the confidence and capability in the all-new 2022 Grand Wagoneer will remember the adventure as long as they live.
The Wagoneer Series 1, now available starting at $61,640 MSRP.
Go to Wagoneer.com to find a certified Wagoneer dealer near you.
There's a moment. The moment we ask, what if?
What if we could go further, jump higher, or run the whole thing? What if we could be who we're meant to be?
And become who we look up to. This is the moment it all starts.
This is the moment it all starts.
But only if we get the chance to have it.
Pat Ferschweiler has got a couple of veteran defensemen on his team. One is Mike Joyo, and what a play he just made. He was coming in 1-on-4, and he turned it into a 4-on-4. So let's watch as Weston's coming up the ice. Here comes Joyo with the puck. He's coming up the side here. As he gets to the line, he grabs the line. Stop it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 North Dakota players. It's a 1-on-4. But he's going to delay into this area, and he allows the cavalry to come on in, and he evens up the rush. Watch this. Go wide, delay, allow your team to get in, and now all of a sudden you got some numbers. You can go make a play to the front of the net. That's veteran experience by Joyo. He attacks with no numbers, delays enough to create numbers.
That pass nearly found Ethan Frank open in the slot. This season has gone like it has for Frank. You think it's probably 2-2.
It's plays like that, with players like that, which is why Western Michigan is sitting fourth in the pairwise. They're well coached, but they've got some veteran players who can make some really smart, savvy plays.
This was a team that not a lot of people were high on coming in. They were picked to finish 6th in the NCHC in the preseason polls. If you watch this Broncos group, though, at the end of last season, you got a taste for how good this team could be. You know, some of us here in this booth had them a little bit higher in their preseason poll.
Yes, we did. Anytime that you get a lot of vets coming back, especially good vets, and a good goalie to go with it, you've got to think a team's going to play well. They were strong down the middle, they were good on the back end, and they were strong in net, and that translates into success more often than not.
North Dakota, meanwhile, was picked to finish 3rd after winning back-to-back Penrose Cups. We're going to talk a little about more about why people didn't think they were going to finish as high as they are currently in the standings. That's coming up during college hockey talk during the intermission.
They had a little bit of a free agent frenzy.
Oh, boy.
North Dakota did.
5 incoming transfers, 9 freshmen you have to replace, 13 players, 8 of whom signed NHL deals, and they have just reloaded. More to come on that in a bit. Puck sent down for icing with 3:33 left in the seconds.
So
could be a good time for that Dane Jackson story.
So last year, I'm doing the World Junior Tournament, and one of the USA goalie loses a stick, and I make a comment along the lines of, I'm surprised nobody gave him a stick. Dane texts me, he's watching the game, so Dane texts me, says, I'm sitting here with our goalies, and they said, no, we don't want a stick, because the way we play now, with the pads being able to butterfly together so quick and size, he goes, I'd rather the defensemen have their stick, or they would rather have the defensemen have their stick, and they've talked about this. Goalies and D-Corps have talked about this. If I lose my stick, don't worry about giving me one. You guys keep yours. I can take the low ice away just using my pads. But I thought it was really cool that he texted me in-game just to say, hey, I'm sitting here with our goalies. Here's their thoughts on it. And I shot him back a note. I said, do you mind if I go with that on air? And he said, oh, by all means. So I came on and said, I stand corrected as a former goalie. I felt like 2 sticks probably would have been better for me than 1. So I'm thinking, get me a stick. And the philosophy changing quite a bit. I thought it was pretty cool on Dane's part to shoot me that note.
Isn't that something how things can evolve over time? Even just, I mean, obviously you haven't played, it's not been that long since you were doing this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's been a little while, but.
Well, since I did it well. But, yeah. I mean, and well is a loose terminology here. But I will tell you this, when the new pads and the new style started to take over, a lot of things change. And I often tell goalies when I'm working with them as younger kids that I am really teaching you a position I didn't play. Or I'm teaching you a style to play this position that was foreign to the way we grew up and learned it.
The evolution of the goaltending position. Here comes Connor Ford now, under 3 minutes to play left in the second. Ford able to push it over. Clevin, the Fargo native, going to work on the half wall. Creating space and shooting high over Bussey. Ethan Frisch coming in to keep it in. Caulfields. Working and spinning. Tied up well by Fulp. Costantini picking up the pieces. His goal, the difference between these two. Clevin. Shot from the points, off the end boards. Frisch there to retrieve. A couple of fresh bodies on the ice as well for North Dakota. Costantini back to Frisch. Deflects over to Clevin. Former national team development program player will put it down. Albrecht there. Good check by Fulp. Ports fresh off the bench now on it. Freshman forward changing places with Chris Jandrick, the defenseman who goes down low. Jandrick back to Ports on the give and go. Ports looking for his moment. Frank, nice job that time by the fifth-year senior to tie him up.
I wish we had a camera on Frank this whole shift. He has put on a clinic on how to play defensively off the puck as the centerman low in the coverage.
He and his teammates, they're got to be tired out there. Extended offensive zone time for North Dakota. They've been able to change a couple of times. Bast, shot from the point, deflected. Chance falling in front. Bussey gets knocked over by Ports. Western gets it clear in the ends. And now the Broncos can finally get at least a partial change here. Jandrick trying to catch them in that change. The long pass to Nesh broken up, and now a penalty coming as Jandrick hog ties Jason Poland on his way forward. Boy, a lot going on in that sequence as Poland is a little shaken up coming off to the bench.
Boy, I'll tell you something. You couldn't have taken a worse penalty at a worse time than North Dakota just did. I mean, they had Western Michigan dead to rights fatigue-wise, and there is just absolutely no need to do what Jandrick did here. I understand it's one thing if you want to get in the way of the player and take space because you own the space to begin with, but to initiate contact like that, when the puck's already by you, there's a minute and 15 to go in a period that you're winning. You just had a shift that was off the charts good. You've got 4 tired bodies on for Western. All they're trying to do is get it wide and deep so they can change. That is not the time to take a penalty like that.
Uncharacteristic that sound for Jandrick, who has 1 year of eligibility left. He's a graduate student this year in North Dakota. Bradbury, a little shake of the head.
By the way, coming into this game, last 4 games, North Dakota had scored 14 goals, and Jandrick had been on the ice for 7 of them. He has been an important part of their offense.
So the penalty giving Western Michigan the power play. With 70 seconds remaining here in the seconds. Face-off window by Connor Ford for UND puts the Broncos back on their heels a bit to start. Joyo, that puck taken away by Ford.
Sorry, a different setup here for Western Michigan. Normally Adder and Joyo don't play together on the same unit, but they've loaded up this unit with a minute to go in the period.
Watch Passelt now. Into the corner. Adder. Joyo. And all the big guns out there for the Broncos. Passelt trying to get his way past Jammernick and cannot do so. Good keep though by Joyo at the blue line. Passelt the shot in front. Oh, the touch pass nearly comes off. Luke Granger tapping himself on the bucket, knowing that was his opportunity.
I'll see that one in his sleep. Really good play by Western Michigan up top, and they get a little low to high play here. And look at the head snap by Granger. He knows he had a great opportunity. That might hit the skate. Yeah, it did.
Ethan Frisch laying out.
You get that big yawning cage sitting there, and all you want to do is hit pay dirt.
Tim Washiba finds Granger nearly with the equalizing goal. Nice job by the junior defenseman to get in the way. It remains 2-1. Another face-off win by North Dakota to kick it all the way down. UND a +6 on the dot tonight. Here's Glover. Pushed out wide by Schmaltz. He'll rim it around. Morat. 8 seconds left in the slot. First chance did not come off. The second opportunity from that near post swallowed up in the end by Driscoll. 4 seconds left. Intermission coming up. Shireen will have a chance to chat with a Western Michigan player. We'll also bring college hockey talk back into your lives. A couple of good topics coming up during the break, plus analysis of what has been an interesting second period, one that Western Michigan has really been in control of. But they still find themselves down by 1, barring something special here with 4.1 left.
Like I said, if you give up a goal when you're playing well, you feel like you can get it back. And Western's MO a lot of the year has been doing just that.
Face-off win by Ford. The horn sounds, and that's going to do it for period number 2. Broncos will have 45 seconds left on the power play when the third period begins. 2-1 our score. Good action back and forth between number 6 and number 7. It's the home team with the 1-goal advantage, just as they had after the first 20. You're watching the NCHC on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
What is smart? Book smarts? Street smarts? IQ? EQ? Smart is her. It's him. They're in pursuit of purpose. Smart is knowing failure is success in progress. It's finding your calling. It's choosing your place to become. So, what kind of smart are you?
Are you ready? Ready to go? Are you ready? Ready for more? Are you
The UPS Store can help your small business with more ings than you realize. Shipping, packing, and boxing save you time for creating. Returning, printing, and shredding free you up to focus on designing. And notarizing, mailing, and mailboxing let you do more inspiring. For any ing you need, visit one of our 5,000 convenient locations and get back to playing. Every ing for small business, all in one place.
The UPS Store.
Only at Metro by T-Mobile, you can upgrade to 5G and get more. More choices with the largest selection of free 5G phones, like the Samsung Galaxy A13 5G. More 5G coverage on the T-Mobile network. And more savings from the most affordable unlimited plans with 5G included. Get more free 5G phones, more 5G coverage, and more savings. Only at Metro.
Verizon is going ultra with 5G ultra wideband in many more cities. Mindy, with up to 10 times faster speeds, she can download a movie in minutes or a song in seconds.
Yep.
Verizon is going ultra, so you can do more.
Great protection at great low rates you want? Yep. Click or call for a great auto rate today.
Calder and Constantini score for North Dakota. Jacob Bauer getting his first career goal for Western Michigan, and that's our score after 2. Well, joining me now is Broncos assistant captain Ronnie Attard. And Ronnie, a tough second period there. You tie it up, then North Dakota takes the lead again. What do you think were the differences there?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a good game and fast transitions both ways. So we're just trying to stick to our game plan and keep pucks going to the net here and see if we can bang one into the third, tie it up.
You had a lot of shots on goal in the second and held them to very few. What do you need to do here as you get ready for the third?
Yeah, just got to keep executing our game plan. Like I said, special teams are huge. We got a power play start off this period, so capitalize on that and then roll the rest of the period there.
Thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you guys.
Ronnie Attard of the Western Michigan Broncos. Coming up, it's time for some more college hockey talk. Alex Heinert and Dave Starman join me as we hit some hot topics for today. Stay with us as we continue from the Ralph.
light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Help Special Olympic athletes shine. Grab a Jersey Mike sub on March 30th, and all sales will be donated to the Special Olympics USA Games.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Woo! Yeah! By being prepared for anything!
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
It's true. Everyone gets a free new Samsung Galaxy S22 with a Galaxy trade-in. Any year, any condition.
Really? Even if my old phone looks like this?
Dude, why?
How could you? It's okay, people. I've trained for this.
It's not complicated. Everyone gets a free new Samsung Galaxy S22 with the Galaxy trade-in. Any year, any condition.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that former pro football player Ickey Woods will celebrate almost anything?
Number 44.
Woo! 44, that's me!
Get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts.
Woo! Give me some!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
44, ladies, that's me! Woo! Gonna get some cold cuts today.
Prepare your taste buds. Kit Kat Duo's mint and dark chocolate.
Kit Kat Duo's mocha and chocolate. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Help Special Olympic athletes shine. Grab a Jersey Mike sub on March 30th, and all sales will be donated to the Special Olympics USA Games.
North Dakota trying to inch closer to its third straight Penrose Cup. They lead the Broncos 2-1 after 2. Well, this is the time of year where we look at some coffee talk at the time of day. And Alex Heinert and Dave Starman joining me now. And guys, we've talked about it throughout this game. North Dakota, 14 new players on the roster this season. That, as we all know at North Dakota, it's not rebuilding, it's just reloading. What do you think of the job they've done this season?
Well, you can't say enough about what they've done this year, Shireen. It's been impressive what this group seems to do, and they go back to the culture. I mean, this is a culture-based program that has won 8 national championships, but they continue to find a way. When you look at what they have done in comparison to other number 1 seeds from a season ago who lost a lot to the NHL. North Dakota lost more than the likes of Wisconsin and BC, but those 2 teams are nowhere near the NCAA picture. UND's got a chance to be a 1 seed.
You know, it's interesting when you look at North Dakota's lineup the last couple of years. If you're a young player and you're looking at North Dakota as a place that you might want to play in, right? Why wouldn't you? You take a look and you say, wow, they got a lot of vets that are about to matriculate out and into pro hockey. There are going to be some holes to fill. And I think that when North Dakota was having some struggles, it was because of the fact that a lot of their young talent left early, but younger talent was looking at North Dakota like, how am I going to get in the lineup?
Sure.
This was a clearer path for some younger players to get in the lineup faster, and then the free agent frenzy with the transfer portal really helped.
Well, guys, this is the time of year that the awards start to be talked about. A lot to be handed down this year, and the criteria varies depending on the award. But what do you think should be looked at when you're voting for people for awards?
Now, it should be mentioned that Shireen and Dave both have votes on some of the major awards in college hockey, so I'm not going to be able to chime in too much here, but Dave's
well,
going to list
your opinion, though.
Well, you know, I'm going to give it maybe, but Dave's going to list some criteria that really stand out. Talk me through, I think specifically, meaningful points. What do you look at when you say meaningful points?
That's a good question. This is kind of how I vote for the Hobie, or how I talk on the Hobie call. Meaningful points to me are points that you get in big games. Games that, I mean, every game means something, but down the stretch, when these games get tighter, are you finding ways to score in the last 6 to 8 games of the season when your team really needs you? It's one thing if you want to light up a lesser non-conference opponent, you get 8 points in a weekend against somebody who's not very good. But if you get towards the end of a season and you're North Dakota and you can put up a 4 or 5 point weekend against Western Michigan, those to me are meaningful points because they're big games where there's something on the line, the pressure's on you to score, and if you don't have a good game, people notice. So that to me is what meaningful points are, and I have voted for a lot of players to win the Hobie Baker based on meaningful points and big points they get in big games.
And I've looked at part of that formula as well, and also character. So important with the Hobie. In my first time on the committee, there was a player I didn't vote for because of the off-ice issues that he had. Well, guys, time to review, under review. We saw something here tonight, a non-penalty. They looked for the 5-minute major, said that wasn't applying there. This is something we've talked about all season long. We want to get things right, but how do you do it in an efficient way?
I think we all agree it's all about timing, isn't it? Can you do those reviews in a time frame that makes sense, that does not take away from the flow of the game? What are your thoughts, Steve?
I'm a big believer when you see it in real time, make a call, and maybe you get a chance to look at it quick, but real time matters to me. So my feeling is this: if you're going to go to review, you got 60 seconds at real time to make your decision. Once you start slowing things down, things look worse. So my feeling is if you can look at the replays from every different angle you can in real time and making sure that everybody's seeing the same angles regarding whether or not they would want to challenge or look for review, I think that is really, really important. But these elongated reviews to me, I think it's almost like nitpicking. Like you're just looking for something. It's one thing if it's a goal, it's another thing if it's a penalty. And to me on the ice, like what just happened in our game tonight, I don't necessarily think that needed to go to review. It didn't look great, but if you don't have a call immediately, there's no call, and I would not have even gone to review on that. That keeps the game moving.
Well, guys, it's always nice having college hockey talk with you. What do you say? Let's do it again next Friday.
Let's do it again.
All right, thanks, Alex and Dave. Coming up, they'll take a look at the highlights and stats from the second period when we continue coming up. Stay with us.
Unjunk your sleep during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale and wake up a better you. Shop Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, and save up to $500 on adjustable mattress sets. Plus, get a $300 instant gift good towards sleep accessories. We've got your perfect bed in stock for immediate delivery and with a low price guarantee, so you can rest assured you're getting the best price. Only at Mattress Firm, the #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer.
Prepare your taste buds. Kit Kat Duo's mint and dark chocolate.
Kit Kat Duo's mocha and chocolate. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Oh, Marco's Pepperoni Magnifico. Classic and old world pepperoni on one pizza, and a large is just $9.99? The phrase slice of heaven comes to mind. Marco's, pizza lovers, get it.
There's a moment. The moment we ask, what if?
What if we could go further, jump higher, or run the whole thing? What if we could be who we're meant to be?
And become who we look up to. This is the moment it all starts.
This is the moment it all starts.
But only if we get the chance to have it.
Number 7, North Dakota up by 1 after the first 20. They lead by 1 after the second 20 as well. 1 goal apiece to tell you about in that middle stanza. Let's go to the highlights, David. A period that Western Michigan dominated, but they find themselves still trailing by a goal.
Yeah, a couple good goals in this one. We'll start here. As we roll this play through, Western Michigan's got the puck down low. Stop it right here. As soon as he's got focus on the puck here, he has no idea this man's coming. And as the puck kept going wide, he realized there was going to be space to go. That's Bauer as he jumps in. Really good recovery. That's Poland. It's 14 being 14, as the Western Michigan staff likes to say. Quality plays. Poland makes a real good read, real good look, dishes one out, and Bauer, who had a great shift, converts on a second opportunity. Now watch here. Stop it for a second. This player here chasing a puck, going to get a wall. Look what's coming at him. He's got 3 Broncos all chasing him. As that happens, right here, sneaking to the backside of the post. Go. Way too many players overplay and get caught puck watching. And that opens up the seam for North Dakota to get pay dirt and take a 2-1 lead as Costantini made a great read.
Nice find from Judd Caulfield as well. North Dakota outshot 17-5 in that middle period. Doesn't matter though, still up 2-1 on the scoreboard. Pat Ferschweiler and company, 20 minutes left to try and get something out of this game on the road. UND looking for 3 more points to keep that win streak rolling.
NCHC, where the best in college hockey compete, and the numbers back it up. In the past 8 years, 6 teams in national title games and a run of 4 consecutive national championships, 2 Hobie Baker winners, and 46 All-Americans. More than 70 alumni in the NHL with multiple Stanley Cup champions, a leader and innovator in the sport, including a one-of-its-kind pod. One conference, creating champions and improving the game. This is the NCHC.
Addiction is a treatable chronic disease that impacts every community in our state. If you're struggling with addiction, remember that you're never alone. Even in these times, there are virtual health visits, resources, and recovery professionals ready to help. Whether you're starting down the road to recovery or just need another person to talk to, someone is there. Reach out at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
At Audible, you'll always find just the right thing. That's because Audible is for everyone. For story people, comedy people, curious people, people wanting to explore the topics they love in a new way, and people who want something new right now. It's the best place to listen because it's got the best of what you love. Fresh content featuring celebrated writers, comic superstars, and iconic celebrity voices. Try it today, free for 30 days. Go to audible.com.
What I believe in can't be contained. Cut! I believe in myself, my passions, my voice. I believe with the right tools, we can be everything we want to be. And we can turn what we love into what we do. Be all of who you are.
2go.com.
2 in North Dakota as we go to the third. Pat Ferschweiler joins me in good second period for you guys. You control the pace. What does the third period look like from your eyes?
Hopefully a lot of the same, man. I thought we played our kind of hockey. We played north. Put a lot of pressure on their defense, and we created some turnovers. We just got to get it by their goaltender.
Thanks, Fersch.
Thanks, guys.
Simple message for the first-year head coach. His team a +10 in terms of shots tonight. They trailed by 1 going into the third against North Dakota team that has won 4 in a row. The way the results are going around the NCHC, it's all going in North Dakota's favor. Denver right now, their closest competitors for the Penrose, trailing 4-0 against Omaha. That game just going into the third.
I'll tell you what, Omaha is if Isaiah Seville plays the way I think he can play, that's a team that's built pretty well too. As I like to say, they're built to play with the big boys. And I think Omaha is going to give somebody a ton of trouble in the first round with the way they're playing right now.
They're certainly giving Denver trouble here tonight. North Dakota fans know if the Pioneers lose, if that result holds, and this one does as well, then UND could potentially clinch the Penrose Cup tomorrow night in this building. Whistle here for offside. Again, 15 seconds left and a Chris Jandrick interference penalty.
I talked to Dane Jackson this morning about the Western Michigan power play, and he said they get pucks back really well. It's the best part of their power play is their retrieval. It's hard to get good clears against them because they're constantly on top of you, and then they create really good options up top where they can either move the puck or pound it to the front of the net. And North Dakota's seeing that, a lot of that, especially on that last power play where Western got 5 shots.
Puck frozen in the corner. Jandrick out of the box. One shot for the Broncos on that man advantage, which spans the end of the second and the start of the third. WMU, though, still in possession. Adder's pass to nobody in particular. Caulfield able to pick it up. Just a reminder, Western right now in third place in the NCHC standings behind North Dakota and Denver. 1 more point, and the Broncos guarantee themselves home ice in the NCHC quarterfinals. And that point can come at any point over their next 4 games. They put themselves in a great position. They would love a goal here, though, to put the pressure on the home team and get back level for the second time tonight. Luke Ranger had a great chance to equalize in the second. Loses out this time. Puck kicked forward by Ness. Bussy back to collect. Cedric Fiedler over to Mikey Joyo. And a build from the back. They'll lob one forward. Bouncing puck collected by Rome. Western would have been offside. He retreats. Now back to Hilsendegger. His pass towards Passelt, knocked down off the skate of Kuntz. Hillebrands bounces to the corner again. Tim Washi on it. Up top to Bauer. Western's goal scorer tonight can't keep it in.
Sometimes you have too much time. You know the old song, "Too Much Time on My Hands"? Sometimes you have too much time at the point. Puck's coming to you, and you're thinking to yourself, I got all the time in the world, so here's what I'm going to do. And then the puck gets to you, and it jumps over your stick, and just stop thinking about the retrieval of the puck for a second.
Bauer, by the way, one of a number of Broncos who joined at semester time last year. Did not play a season ago, redshirted. Shot now on the bounce from the end wall, knocked down in the end. Another chance here from the points. Both that time lined one up. Driscoll once again without his goal stick. Passelt will rim it around. Ryan Shingothi lets that one go. Adder to shot. Moore kicked it up in the air. Shingothi was there, a Leafs draft pick. It'll come back to Fulp. He'll shoot with traffic in front. Driscoll down to cover. Another heads-up play by the 5th-year senior to keep it 2-1.
You know, whether it be power play or even strength, one thing Western Michigan does do really well is they get the puck to the front of the net and they let their big guys take over. Real good low to high play and a quick shot to the front. Look at all the traffic that they get in front of the net. When you take a look at some of the bigger players, you got Warad is 6'2", Poland 6'0", Tim Washi 6'3". They got some big centermen. Then you got a guy like Roman 6'2", Passelt 6 foot, Hillebrand is 6'4", Glover's 6'3", and is just a beast out there. So their defensemen know, A, they can score, but B, they get pucks to the front of the net. They've got a good chance of getting somebody big rig style, take the goalie's eyes away and hack and whack.
And this Western team is the biggest in terms of height and weight. The biggest team in the country again this season. As Adder lines one up, shot blocked in front by his teammate. The follow-up chance from a tight angle goes wide. And this will rattle all the way down towards Brandon Bussey's end. Fulp there to retrieve. Still 2-1, 16:30 left in regulation. Western perhaps caught in a change here. Calder that time couldn't collect the pass from Jandrick cleanly. Ashton Calder, who got the North Dakota goal scoring back in the first. The scoring started, excuse me. Bauer's goal canceling out the Calder opener before Matteo Costantini potted his 7th of the season late in the second to restore North Dakota's 1-goal advantage.
North Dakota doing a really good job right now at the blue line.
Here's Ports now off the turnover. The no-look feed in direction that time of Ness. Gallant picks it up over to Warad on the rush. Good stick by Clevin to break up the play. Ness helping it up to Ports. Warad back on it. Broncos off for a change. For North Dakota tonight, no Reese Gaber, their leading scorer, missing his 2nd game. No Jake Sanderson, their 2nd leading scorer, missing his 7th in a row. Fighting Hawks still lead 2-1 and looking for more now. Bast able to juke off one man. Adder down to block the shot, and it creates a 2-on-1 chance. Poland, all off the crossbar. Great chance by Jason Poland. He beats Zach Driscoll, but could not beat the iron. Broncos looking for more now. Adder joining the play. Centering feed in the direction that time of a teammate did not come off. Fulp back in possession. Shot from the point wide. Couple of good chances though by Western Michigan, dodging a bullet at one end and then nearly pulling level at the other.
But one thing I think North Dakota is doing well is they're tracking back and they're closing gaps. So Western Michigan brought the speed and they've been able to bring some numbers on the attack, but North Dakota's getting back well.
There's a 3-on-2 chance now. Costantini looking for his 2nd. Bussey didn't glove it cleanly. Rebound eventually kicked to the half boards. Matteo Costantini once again shooting wide. Fiedler with it now for Western Michigan. Checked off the puck by Ford. Hillebrand takes over through the neutral zone. Pass intercepted by Frisch.
I mean, deflect, delay, destroy. Get back, take away the middle, force the attack wide, slow it down.
Sending now from a tight angle, deflected up. And out of play in the end with 13:53 left in regulation. Hawks ended in company, leading by 1. The Broncos and Jason Poland coming oh so close to pulling level.
You're probably wondering, what makes these chips taste so good? Here's a hint. It's lime. They taste like lime. Tostitos, get to the good stuff.
When tough pain hits, hit back with fast and powerful pain relief. Advil provides longer-lasting relief than Tylenol Extra Strength and treats pain caused by inflammation directly at the source. So get tough on pain and Advil the pain away.
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? By being prepared for anything.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Welcome to Sonic. May I take your order?
Can I get 2 patty melts?
Melting the cheese. Order up.
Sonic patty melt.
Early on in period number 3, North Dakota still a 2-1 advantage over number 6, Western Michigan. Coming up tomorrow at noon Eastern, CBS Sports Network tips off a full slate of college hoops, starting with a CAA clash as Elon takes on Northeastern. Then later at 8, it's the Wyoming Cowboys going head-to-head against Nevada, followed by Boise State squaring off with UNLV. Catch it all right here on CBS Sports Network. Face-off win by Jake Schmaltz, but it's the Broncos who come away with the puck. Aiden Fulp up to Dylan Wentz on the rush. Another save by Driscoll. 25 stops tonight for the 5th-year netminder.
Boy, did they get up the ice quick. Off the draw. It was a one draw by North Dakota, but the secondary win by Western Michigan springs this and went with a good shot. And look where Driscoll is. Comfortable, top of the crease, compact, takes the shot. That's part athleticism, part technicality, part blocker, and part soccer. Reminds me a little of Henrik Lundqvist, who used to love to do that by putting pucks off his helmet.
Hey, why not, right? The header from number 33 to keep it 2-1. Driscoll made 69 saves last weekend against Minnesota Duluth on 74 shots, and third straight NCHC Goaltender of the Week honor. He seems to play better when he sees a lot of rubber, and he's seen quite a bit tonight. Western a 26-14 advantage in terms of shots on goal. They have dominated in that metric since after the opening period. They still trail, though, 2-1 on the scoreboard. Costantini on the turnover. Teammates have to hold up. Western able to get the dump in. They can change. Fresh bodies out now for the Broncos. Puck touched on the way-ins, but it will be an icing here with 13:02 left in the third. Let's go back to Shireen.
Well, Alex Driscoll has been very busy on the ice tonight, as you guys were talking about. He's been a bit of a video star in North Dakota's video sessions, but maybe not the way he wants to be. He actually approached Brad Berry at one point and said, "Hey, Coach, why are you showing goals shot on me, against me?" Of course, Zach Driscoll coming over from Bemidji, and before that, St. Cloud State, and Brad said, "You know, I never really even noticed that, but it's just how it worked out, guys."
Brad was quick to point out in that conversation that they weren't all goals scored against Zach. Sometimes he made the save in the end. Goalies a little sensitive sometimes, aren't they?
Oh, just a tad.
Driscoll quick to react here as Tyler Clevin lost the puck right into the blue paint of his netminder.
One thing I think Driscoll does really well is control pace. And normally you think about forwards and defensemen as the kind of players who can control the pace of a game, but a goaltender that is really good with his rebound control understands when his team needs a break, understands when there are commercial timeouts coming and when they're not, and will cover up loose rebounds in front of the net just to either change the pace or slow the pace of the game down. And Driscoll's a veteran, I think, understands that very well.
Zach, a great kid in his third stop in college hockey, as Shireen mentions. We talked to him earlier this week about his second senior weekends, and he said, "I got to thank my parents. Not a lot of parents would be okay with their son switching colleges not once but twice." He said his family support has been unbelievable, as has the support of this North Dakota fan base that has really embraced him this season.
Actually, the modern youth hockey parent would probably be pretty used to it, because kids are switching teams now 2 or 3 times a season.
That's a good point.
Depending on how it's going. I know not in the Minnesota area. Everybody seems to be a little bit more comfortable and happy in their surroundings in the 10,000 Lake State, but not in my neighborhood. You don't play for 10 minutes and it's time to go find a new team.
New teams are a little harder to find in this part of the world. You got to drive a little further if you don't like the situation.
That's a good point. I mean, it is amazing. Just to put this in perspective for our audience that's more in the area of the Mississippi and towards Michigan, on Long Island and in the greater New York area, there have got to be 100 youth hockey teams within 50 miles of each other. It's unbelievable how many rinks like you can pass on the way to your team's practice, depending on like what organization you want to play in. You have no trouble finding games, but it's almost too busy right now. There's almost too many teams.
A lot of options for those kids and their families.
Oh yeah.
Around here, you could drive 50 miles and not find another town.
Right.
Carson Albrecht shooting one forward. By the way, I have to drive 35 miles to high school every day, so I'm in that boat of knowing what it's like to have to go a long ways.
See, there are times where it would take me 35 minutes to get to high school, and I lived 5 minutes away.
And it was uphill both ways, wasn't it?
Yeah, right, absolutely.
Puck out of play with 11:33 left in the third. We alluded to some of the scores around the NCHC on a Friday night tonight. Denver getting one back, but still trailing 4-1 at Baxter Arena to Omaha. Number 8 Minnesota Duluth back on the winning track tonight over Miami. A couple of goals from Blake Biondi in that game. And then St. Cloud State, just one win in their last 10, Dave. They have a 3-goal advantage over CC through 2 periods.
In Omaha, Ty Mueller scored. Brandon Scanlon's got a power play goal. Then Mueller scored again. Power play. Kirby Proctor had a goal. You're right, Denver got one back. Ryan Barrow got the goal back. By the way, we were in Florida last week. We were in the pool. We were talking to a a mom and her son. It turns out that the kid played his youth hockey with Brandon Scanlon of Omaha throughout his entire youth hockey career.
Isn't that something? Yeah. What a small world, too. From Ontario, by the way, the family you were talking to.
From Hamilton, Ontario, and talk about just what a great kid Scanlon is and what a good player he was, especially at a young age.
Loose puck now picked up by Brendan Booty. The quick shot. Bussy had to be ready. Good save by the junior. He has not seen a lot of action in these last two periods. Alert, though, number 30 in the black and the gold.
These teams have each gotten into a scenario right now where I would say that they're playing afraid to make a mistake, but the pace of the first two periods is not there right now. Each team is playing a little bit more careful. By the way, the puzzle pieces you're seeing on the mask of Brandon Bussy is his tribute to autism awareness. The puzzle piece, the symbol for autism awareness.
They're really special. Brandon, one of a number of goaltenders in this league with great messages of hope and encouragement on their masks this season. You think of Isaiah Seville down in Omaha with the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech on the back of his. Zach Driscoll with the Bible verse on the back of his cage. Matteo Costantini now taking over for North Dakota. The freshman up to Ford. Couldn't direct the centering feed goalwards and got tied up behind the play. Fulp. Looks like he's going to be guilty of a hook, and it'll be North Dakota going on the power play midway through the third.
Western Michigan, number 24, 2 minutes hooking.
This happened a little behind the play. North Dakota, Costantini chips the puck towards the front. Fulp in front, gets the stick up, gets it into the hands. And that drew the penalty. Brad Berry talked about his power play quite a bit in the last couple of weeks with us. Likes the way it's moving, likes the way it's trending. But he still said it's a work in progress, but he really likes what Carl Gehring has done with it.
Former national title winning goaltender for North Dakota now in his third season as an assistant coach. As that shot comes in from the point by Cooper Moore. Knocked aside in the end, a lot of traffic in front. Second power play chance of the night for North Dakota. Good clearance by the Broncos. Driscoll back to collect.
And you're seeing a little bit more of one of the, to me, the Achilles heel of the Western Michigan penalty kill is losing first draws and allowing quick chances. They were able to get a clear, and Bussy gave a big save. But I think for Western moving ahead, and I know they've addressed it, they've made some adjustments, but winning that first draw is critical.
North Dakota up +12 now in the dot tonight. Here's Moore once again, the Red Wings draft pick. Over to Frisch. A stick by Warad. Moore able to keep it in. Bass stepping up. Bouncing puck, Gallant able to kick it up. Warad able to get the puck clear with 9:30 left in the third. Under a minute to go on the Fulp penalty. Chris Jandrick with speed to lay it off. Calder. Frisch coming up. Good check by Fiedler. Jandrick forced to retreat now. A 2-on-1 opportunity, shorthanded. Here's Passelt. Poland with them. Centering feed knocked down by Jandrick. And that puck from below the goal line bounced up and over Driscoll. A dangerous play. Passelt's got 2 shorthanded goals this season. Nearly had one there. Calder again going out wide.
I tell you what, and he could have had more. I mean, he is a threat shorthanded all the time.
And a great motor on Passelt's here in A this season. Another one of those guys who came back, trying to make one more run with this Broncos program. The former Sioux Falls Stampede forward on the puck again, now finally pushed off it as Fulp is out of the box. The shot by Ness as the penalty expired, swallowed up by Bussy in the ends. Here come the Broncos back at 5-on-5. Ethan Frank. Leaving one for Hilsendeger, that time who fanned on the shot. Jandrick getting in the way. Hilsendeger able to put the brakes on and create some space for himself. The pass towards the slot knocked down by Ports in the ends.
Tried the little Wayne Gretzky off the side of the net play. They like it, sneaky. That was a really good momentum-changing penalty kill for Western Michigan. It's a period that hasn't had a lot of flow and a lot of jam to it. As I said, I think both teams are playing not to give up the next goal right now, being a little conservative. but that PK should really wake up Western Michigan.
Just the one shot surrendered on the penalty kill by the Broncos. Can they build from that with 7:35 left, trailing by 1? Louis Jamernick putting the puck in the corner and able to win it right back off of Shingothi. Cooper Moore. Brady Ferner. Good save by Bussey. His 16th stop of the night. 7:20 remaining in regulation. One-shot hockey game here in Grand Forks. Ferner in North Dakota trying to seal all 3 points.
It's time for the ultimate Sleep Number event on the Sleep Number 360 smart bed.
What if I sleep hot?
Or cold? No problem. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed is temperature balancing, so you both sleep just right. And it senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable.
So you can really promise better sleep?
Yes. You'll know exactly how well you slept night after night. We take care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. Don't miss the final days to save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, plus 0% interest for 48 months on all smart beds. Ends Monday.
Prepare your taste buds. Kit Kat Duo's mint and dark chocolate.
Kit Kat Duo's mocha and chocolate. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
People assume these photo shoots are easy.
Just like they assume they can't afford great insurance. For surprisingly great rates to fit any budget, call or click to get a quote today.
Next Friday at 8:30 Eastern, we're back up to Lake Superior for another NCHC showdown on the final conference regular season weekend. 8th-ranked Minnesota Duluth hosting 11th-ranked St. Cloud State. You don't want to miss that one right here on CBS Sports Network, the home of the NCHC. Dave, those two have met on a couple of Tuesday nights here in February. Both of those games went to shootouts, tight, cagey affairs between the Bulldogs and the Huskies.
Those two teams are always dip and tuck, as you know, and that game will have some implications. And right now, the way we're trending, that series will lend us into a series the following weekend between those same two teams. I think that's the 4 or 5 matchup that we're going to see in the conference.
They met 6 times a year ago. They very well could meet 7 when all is said and done if things work out. And that best of 3 series goes the distance. Not a lot of hockey left, of course, but
that's must-watch television, by the way.
Oh, big hit here by Clevin, and the arm is raised. It's going to be an interference call, and the Ralph crowd does not like it as the puck was in the area. It'll be the Broncos, though, despite the protestations of Mark Senden, Bradbury, and company, who will be going on the power play.
Hey, listen, folks at home, what do you think? I don't think so. Again, not seeing it real time and not seeing it ice level, but that to me is a collision, not interference.
Ethan Frank that time trying to glove the puck down. Levin checks him off it. Enough, though, to draw the interference call.
I'd happen to think Joe Sullivan's a really good referee. Like, this is a good crew. Krumsbach and Sullivan, to me, are 2 very good officials. I just didn't like that call.
We'll see how that changes the complexion of this contest. 5-on-4 for the Broncos with 7:12 left in the third. It starts with a face-off win. Joyo at the points, over to Warad. Shot blocked by his teammate in front that time. Ty Glover getting in the way. Western maintains possession. Warad down low to Glover. Trying to create space. Driscoll stopping the first shot. It is still loose. And now number 33 in white and Kelly Green able to cover.
Really good job by Warad on the right side. 13 in black as he slides on through, and Glover tried to pull it to the inside. Instead of coming around with a jam play, he tried to pull it, sneak it to the inside. He didn't have a whole lot of space to turn around as Moore took it away, and great stretch by Driscoll. Took a little poke check for his trouble.
What pulled the line nearly got there. To tip it up and over the blocker. Big save by Driscoll. DeLont able to keep this puck in and keep the pressure on. Joyo at the blue line. Options to his left and to his right. He goes to Warad. Back to Joyo. The one-time shot wide. Glover, big check that time by Frisch. Joyo the keep. One-time chance by Frank goes wide. And Ethan Frank, number 26, 9 power play goals this season. Joyo, shot blocked by Ford. Still 1:10 left on the Clevin penalty. Glover down low. Loses an edge this time. Frisch had gone down to block the pass. Warroad back on it. Joyo at the blue line. Frank. Joyo again. Morad. Frank again. The one-time shot saved by Driscoll.
If Frank gets that clean, it's 2-2. He bobbled it a little bit.
The entirety of this power play has been spent inside the North Dakota zone as that shot by Joyo goes wide. 36 seconds left. Joyo's shot blocked in front by Frisch. Glover can't get there, and there's the clear by Ford. Fresh bodies on the ice now for both squads. Great pressure by Western Michigan, a couple of good looks. Zach Driscoll and company doing their best to keep this 2-1 down a man. Broncos gain the zone once again. Here is Fulp. Shot through traffic, another save by Driscoll. Addered on the second unit now. In the circle, Bast with the block this time. Jammernick can't get it clear. Another shot by Fulp, blocked by Jammernick again, and this one trickles across the blue line. Clevin out of the box. A gutsy kill by North Dakota as we approach the 5-minute mark.
Good special teams here, both sides, especially on the PK.
Western, though, for a moment there, it looked like Passelt was going to have another look at it. Deflected out of the zone in the end. 4 shots on the power play for the Broncos. A couple of grade A looks that time, denied by Driscoll. Cedric Fiedler now. And shots 32-18 in favor of the visitors from Kalamazoo tonight. Another shot blocked in front. Granger had the follow-up chance. North Dakota eventually able to get it clear. No scoring here in the third period. A lot of good looks, though, from both teams. The Broncos building momentum with the man advantage late. Unable to take advantage thus far. Still trailing by 1.
And if you're the Western Michigan staff, with 4 minutes to go here, you're starting to think about your line rotation, trying to get your best players on the ice as often as possible, and thinking about when you're going to pull the goalie, who your 6 players is going to be, and what combo you want out there when you get them off with fresh bodies.
Good effort there by Senden to keep it alive for North Dakota for a moment. The Broncos get the puck down in the end. Western, by the way, outshooting North Dakota 10-5 in the third period. They outshot the Fighting Hawks 17-5 in the second. And yet they still trail. Bussey now forced to cover with Judd Caulfield there at the top of the blue paints. 3:31 to go in the third. Zach Driscoll and North Dakota's defense coming up big time and time again.
Every day brings new opportunities to do more than anyone thought possible, to redefine what a truck can be, earning the top brand in new vehicle quality in the automotive industry. Push the limits of what's possible with a lineup of Ram trucks, built to serve.
Right now, during the Ram President's Day sales event, get 0% financing for 72 months on the 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn.
The overtime went into overtime. What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Dion, hand it over. Now, how does that make you feel?
Like a part of me is missing.
Gabrielle?
This Oat Spice Fiji hand and body lotion has me smoother than ever.
That's what it does.
Time for tonight's Geico Difference Makers, starting with the All-American for Western Michigan.
He has been all over the place. Ronnie Adder has been. He's been pushing the offense, defending well, and showing why he's become an elite defenseman here in the NCAA. And on the other side, Matteo Costantini. He's got the best name in the conference. 4 shots tonight. Had a great outlet pass to create a goal. And he has really impressed as a younger player.
It is certainly one of our favorites to say. And he's having another big night tonight.
Like Josh Siako was always one of my favorites, but this is moving up the list.
And he's just a freshman, Dave. We got 3 more years of this.
Jerry Palestroni, who played at New Hampshire. That's another good one for you.
By the way, honorable mention to Zach Driscoll as one of our Geico difference makers tonight. 32 saves for the senior. His team with the 1-goal advantage. Again, Calder and Costantini for North Dakota. Jacob Bauer, the goal for Western Michigan, sandwiched between the two. 3 big points in the NCHC on the line. Western trying to lock up home ice. Any result tonight for the Broncos will do. North Dakota, meanwhile, trying to creep closer to a 5th Penrose Cup and the 3rd consecutive. Tough to win a regular season title. A win tonight would go a long way in putting UND in position to do so.
I thought it was interesting when a couple of players talked about, yeah, it's the 3rd Penrose Cup potential in a row for the program, but for a lot of players on the team, it's going to be their first. And, you know, that was almost exciting as trying to put up a 3rd. They're all like, hey, we'd love to put up a 3rd for the program, but, you know, we're kind of excited about number 1.
Yeah, 100%. 14 new players on this roster. The last time Western Michigan, by the way, was in this building was on Leap Day 2020. It's basically an entire new team they're playing against. It's amazing. In 2 years, a complete overhaul. And yet, here's North Dakota once again, tops of the race with 2 weekends remaining.
I would say,
here's a chance now coming. Wiped out, though, by Jandrick for the moment. Poland waiting for the pass, which never came from Ty Glover.
Glover's got a skate problem. This is a kid who skates really well. He's taken 3 spills in the last 2 shifts. So I'm thinking right now, you get fresh bodies on the ice if you're Western Michigan, and out goes Bussy. This is where you want to grab him. Fresh bodies, control the puck, gain the zone, get him.
And took a look over to the bench. Brandon Bussy, the remaining in his cage. Western in possession with 1:46 to go. Jake Schmaltz getting in the way. Jake Caulfield throwing the big body around. Ronnie Adder trying to win it back and does so. Only for a moment, though. Tyler Clevin back with it for North Dakota. The big 6'4" defenseman going to the corner. Pushed away by Joyo. Port's getting in the way. 90 seconds to go in regulation. Broncos chasing the game as they have done for much of the night. Clevin able to wipe out Hillebrand along the half wall. And now Jammernick comes up with it. Hip check by Passolt, who then sends it through the tunnel that time. Up and out of play.
They got somebody right in the head, too.
Everybody's okay on that.
Good play at the line here by UND. They get the puck turned around pretty quick. Western Michigan has got a timeout. The puck was deflected off of a North Dakota player when it left. So Western Michigan can change. Nick Krebsbach is over there letting Western know. Now, Western does have its timeout. The face-off is going to be just outside the blue line. So Pat Ferschweiler's got a decision to make. Does he call his timeout right now? Or does he see if he can get an offensive possession and use it then? Or an offensive zone face-off and use it then?
Looks like.
And that late delay, by the way, is Western was allowed to change. Once they're allowed to change, then North Dakota was allowed to change, and they changed their D.
How about Sendin getting the stick in the way of the Joyo pass? The captain to the puck. The puck to the corner now, picked up by Passolt. 65 seconds to go. Broncos looking for a game-tying goal. Bussy is up, 6-on-5 situation, empty net to the left of your screen as Frisch takes a spill. Joyo at the blue line. 46 seconds left. Adder through traffic, another save by Driscoll. Zach able to cover with 41.9 seconds left.
Really nice shot by Adder to sneak that through. You see Bussy has had a good game. Sitting on the bench. We'll wait and see whether or not Western Michigan uses their timeout. And it doesn't look like yet. And now they do.
Now they will. So Pat Ferschweiler electing to talk things over. 41.9 seconds remaining in regulation. A one-shot hockey game. Number 6 Western Michigan, number 7 North Dakota.
Now you see how he's got that drawn up already? He's got numbers already put in place, and he's already got it set on the board. So he knew for the timeout, this is pre-planned. Teams practices during the week, and coaches know it. They have it on their sheets right before what's going to happen. So what they're looking at here is a couple different options. You're seeing him drawing it up really nicely. You can win it straight back. You see that weak side defenseman right here? Like that weak side defenseman, if he can clear the coverage back and over, it becomes a really good lane to the net. The other thing is if it comes short side, it's a bit of a scramble. you can release the wingers near the wall to swing underneath to the net. It opens up the lane for that defenseman to walk down if he wants to and throw a puck through some traffic. Normally when you get to 6-on-5, it's generally your first power play and somebody. This looks like a little bit of a mixed bag. Frank, Poland, Warad, Adder and Joyo are back. Passel probably the guy that goes to the front of the net here.
All the stars on for Western Michigan, trailing by 1. It'll be Warad versus Ford, the two best face-off men on their respective teams. A big one coming right here, and it's won by Drew Warad. Joyo able to keep it in at the blue line and set things up. The shot from the point. Rebound was there from below the goal line for a moment. Warad in the end couldn't direct it goalwards. 30 seconds left now. Loose puck and again empty net to the left of your screen. North Dakota able to ping it clear. Seconds running off. 20 to go in regulation. Desperation time for the Broncos. Here comes Joyo. Frisch able to get it just out with 8 seconds to go. It'll be an offside call.
You're better off taking the offsides there as opposed to trying to regroup and bring it back in, because by that point you're going to have to either dump it in or try to gain the line on the rush. Now you got to face off outside the zone. To me, this is straight back over or a push ahead and a chase, but I think it's going to go straight back 3-7 or 3-28 and then everybody to the net.
Same 6 on for Western, same 5 for North Dakota. 6.9 to go. Game on the line.
They're reviewing something, and this just plays into Western Michigan's hands, because that's their second timeout. They are probably checking for time on the clock, is what I'm going to guess. And I don't know if that challenge that was initiated by the officials or was initiated by Western for a check. Maybe it goes to 7.5, 7.8. But what this does is it buys Western Michigan one more timeout. And like I said, the puck is on the left dot outside the blue line. And what you're seeing Dane Jackson doing is talking about, well, if Western wins it back and over, this is how we react in terms of holding the line, sticks in the lane, and making sure that nothing gets backdoored. For Western Michigan, if it comes straight back, Joyo's on the left and Adder is on the right.
Timekeeper, please reset the clock to 9.2 seconds. 9.2.
That's a big change. But you see where Ethan Frank, you won't see here on this screen, but Ethan Frank is all the way on the right wing side by the edge of the circle, so they're trying to go draw back and spring Frank.
We're at a +3 in the dot tonight, Ford a +1. 9 seconds to work. Ford gets the tie up, North Dakota gets the face-off win. Frisch puts it down, and that's going to do it tonight. Nope. Or will it? Icing here with 2.1 left. Bradbury asking, why isn't that clock running a little faster? We will go back down to Zach Driscoll's ends. There is still plenty of time left for the Broncos to get something off.
Now let's see, are they going to check? Remember, it's an icy. You get to choose what side you want to take the face-off on. Western will take it on the right side. And watch Ford to see if he gets his foot in there to tie up the face-off dot. There's no better centerman in the conference getting their feet involved on draws than Ford. We'll see if he swings his left foot in to block the dot. See how he's swinging his foot in there? It's a move that Vince Trocheck taught him, and Trocheck learned it from Claude Giroux.
Pretty good guy to learn from.
Oh, God, yeah.
So both Warad and Ford, a false start. We'll try again. Ford able to tie it up. Loose puck, the shot came off. Poland got one on net. Driscoll makes his 33rd save of the night. And that's going to do it here from the Ralph in game number 1 between these two top 10 teams. North Dakota with goals from Matteo Costantini, the game winner, and Ashton Calder able to get the win. And they move one step closer to a 3rd consecutive Penrose Cup.
This faceoff got scrambled. Ford did a pretty good job on the tie-up. And as it sits loose, Western sneaks in. And they get one last kick at it as it snuck behind, and Poland, who has been Mr. Everything for Western Michigan, gets an opportunity.
They get a great look with under 3 seconds to go, as he's done all night. Zach Driscoll makes the stop. 2-1, your final score. We'll be back to the Ralph coming up right after this to wrap things up for you here on CBS Sports Network.
It's the toughest 8 seconds in sports.
I got that legend in my mind. Y'all don't know my name.
So with Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more?
Yeah, home, car, motorcycle, all bundled together. Just like that breakfast burrito.
So can I get chorizo?
Metaphorically, yeah.
Carnita.
Just chicken. Just give me a bunch of chicken.
Oh, bacon?
Oh, wait, there isn't too much hot sauce, is there? I have a sensitive palate.
I actually like hot sauce. Can I get chips?
How about guacamole?
I don't really know what we're talking about anymore.
Burritos.
Okay.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
There are more than 200 million people with intellectual disabilities. Help them shine for all they can do. Support the Special Olympics USA Games by grabbing a Jersey Mike sub on Wednesday, March 30th, and 100% of sales will be donated.
There's a moment. The moment we ask, what if?
What if we could go further, jump higher, or run the whole thing? What if we could be who we're meant to be?
And become who you look up to. This is the moment it all starts.
This is the moment it all starts.
But only if we get the chance to have it.
We give thanks to the athletes who took big risks, who beat the odds despite being oddballs because of their skin. But to change the status quo, you have to be willing. This is the month we remember. But more importantly, we dream of something bigger.
Final here in Grand Forks, number 7 North Dakota, a 2-1 win over number 6 Western Michigan. A big 3 points for UND on their way towards potentially a 3rd consecutive Penrose Cup. Standing by with one of the stars of tonight's contest, here's Shireen Sasky.
Thanks, Alex. Well, Zach Driscoll, 34 saves tonight in the 2-1 victory. How big is that puck looking to you right now?
No, that doesn't really mean too much to me, but when you're seeing the puck and the shots are coming from the outside, our D-men are doing an unbelievable job boxing the guys out in front of me, so it's really nice when you can see the puck for sure.
Such a tight game tonight, so fast-paced, so exciting. What do you think was the difference from the guys in front of you?
They're just selling out every time they're on the ice. It's whether it's blocking shots or getting a puck out of the zone when they have to. I can't even count how many shots we blocked tonight at opportune times, and that's what wins games at this time of the year. So I love those guys for that.
3 key points you guys pick up tonight. You're one step closer.
Yeah, obviously one step closer, and our goal was to get 6, and you can't get 6 without the first 3 on a Friday night. So for us, this was all that was on our mind this weekend coming into it, and now we can turn the page and go after another 3 tomorrow.
Thanks, Zach. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Alex?
Thank you, Shireen. One game at a time. The message from the 5th-year senior netminder. Big game for him. Big win for North Dakota, and a big night all the way around. Omaha beats Denver 5-1 this evening. The lead now 4 for the Fighting Hawks atop the Penrose race.
It gets tighter as we keep going along here, and Denver's going to be heard from again tomorrow night. Omaha playing well, and Western Michigan, they're going to be hungry as tomorrow night turns in.
Yeah, I think this Broncos team is going to be fired up after a good performance by them in the loss. They fall tonight 2-1 here at the Ralph. Big win for North Dakota as they continue to move forward with 5 consecutive victories. Once again, our final score here from Ralph Engelstad Arena, North Dakota 2, Western Michigan 1. For Dave Starman, Shireen Sasky, our producer Carlos D. Molina, our director Sean Jensen, our entire crew, I'm Alex Heinert. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Let's head it now to Serie A Full Impact. Thanks for watching, and good night from Grand Forks.
The Chewy Box is coming today.
Calm down, Lenny. We just ordered it yesterday.
Nah, I'm totally chill. Wait, is it here?
Relax. Our treats from Chewy always arrive super fast.
I feel so much energy surging through me. I don't know what to do with my feet. I'm so excited. Oven-baked apple biscuits.
Remember our training? Control yourself.
I can smell them. Hold me, Leroy. Biscuits!
Get fast, free 1 to 3 day shipping when they just can't wait. Chewy.
USAA is made for the safe pilots.